Yeah, okay, it's working. Perfect. And welcome everybody. Let's update the team titles over here. So we are going to have, once again, let me see, Skärgården, right? Versus Druzhina. This is a best of 3 as well. There's going to be a 60 minutes of in-game time limit. And that means, of course, that if there is no 1000 or higher score lead for one of the teams, let's update this, there we go. If there is no 1000 or higher point lead for any of the teams, it's going to be considered a tie. If the games are tied, all 3 games are tied, we are going to have a tiebreaker, 4th game on Arabia, that is going to have no time limit. So that is the format for this. The tournament is going to be focused on hybrid maps as well. So you can see for map number 1, we are going to have Pacific Islands. These maps are all built into the game, so players are not required to download map packs or anything. And yeah, that's going to be about it. Let me see. We're going to introduce civilizations right now. Starting on the left-hand side. Yeah, they're gonna be using team colors too, which is fantastic. Much easier to keep up with. So on the left, we have Naughty Nadia playing Byzantines, which means that this player is going to have stronger buildings as well as cheaper trash units, but also 20% faster attacking fire galley units or fire ships. So that's going to be fire galleys, fire ships, and fast fire ships, of course. On top of that, we are going to have Andy as Nadia's teammate playing as Vikings. And that means free wheelbarrow, free handcart, as well as 10, 15, and 20% cheaper, or actually extra HP on infantry units, and 15, 15, and 20% cheaper warships in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Age. Then we are going to have Jan Peron as well. That's going to be playing Italians, and I imagine for this, we have these guys seem like the Druzhina team, by the way. Peron is going to have Italians, which means a 15% discount to go up to the next stage, as well as a 15% fish and ship discount, 50% cheaper dock technologies, as well as 20% cheaper gunpowder units, and yeah. Also for the team bonus, access to condottieri from the barracks in the Imperial Age. That is going to be particularly interesting too, because team bonus, when we usually cast 1v1s, those are not going to make a difference, right? But this time around, for the team bonus, Italians are going to provide condottieri to everybody, and because we have Vikings over here for Andy, he can go with up to 20% extra HP, condottieri to the center in the Imperial Age, and then moving on to the final member of this team, we are going to have Cheap, who's going to be playing as Saracens, and that means cheaper markets that trade resources for cheaper, as well as 20% faster attacking galley units. And on top of that, we are also going to have, let's see, yeah, we are going to get extra carrying capacity and extra HP on transport ships, as well as extra damage from foot archer and cavalry archer units against buildings in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Age, respectively, increasingly so. And then on the right hand side, now Cook is playing Vikings, so it's going to be the same we talked about earlier. We are going to have also Naken Bjorn, who's going to be playing Malay. We have on top of that, for Malay, we're going to get cheaper battle elephants, as well as 66% faster research in ages. And for the team bonus, extra line of sight on ducks. Hello, Lollipop. Hi. Let's see. Then we are going to have, for the great player over here, Moses, Malians. So that's a 15% wood discount on buildings, as well as 1 extra Pierce armor and barracks units per age, starting in the Feudal Age, up to +3 in the Imperial Age. And also free gold mining, which can make a difference, I guess, but it's not going to be the best. We are going to finish with Mr. Frizzlebear, who's playing Japanese, and that means faster working fishing ships with extra HP and extra Pierce armor. As well, this map is called Pacific Islands. It's a beautiful map for team games. It's going to be kind of like migration, except that the center island is going to be divided. So you do have a bunch of small islands across the center. I did not include this one in the opening lookups, nor in Terra Nova, because I did not see a clear location like Pacific Islands. You know, the Pacific Sea is going to take... Ocean is going to take like a big area, so I didn't know where to put it. But I actually like it. I think it's actually very interesting. In a 4v4 setting, it's going to be nice to see as well. Let's see. But yeah. We talked about the civilizations already. I think I'm gonna be liking the left-hand side composition though. Peron, Cheap, Nadia, and Andy are going to have beautiful civilizations with a bunch of very interesting team bonus, access to condottieri, cheaper docks. They are going to have also fast healing monks. They're going to get also extra damage against buildings on all archer units because of the Saracens. And then on the right hand side for the team bonus, we get extra line of sight on docks from Malay. We're going to get cheaper docks from Vikings, as well as extra line of sight on galley line ships for Japanese, and Malians are going to provide faster working universities. So that one, the Malian one specifically, I think like it could be good because you can have chemistry researching faster, or ballistics, you know, that kind of stuff, or maybe even yeah, some other technology such as heated shot or arrow slits if you need to go for towers at some point to defend water. But I'm still gonna be preferring by and large the left hand side team bonuses, as Italians providing condottieri and Vikings getting extra HP on infantry units can make a huge combo work really well. We see Andy landing first on the left hand side as well, and then on the right we are going to have Nal Cook. I'm really sure how to pronounce this. I'm pretty sure I'm screwing it up though. But we are going to roll with it. They're not going to be landing just yet, that I can see anyway. Maybe the Great Player. I cannot see the Great Player landing just yet, but we can see that Nale is going to be coming forward, or Nale is going to be coming forward already with some warships. And now he's going to also be joined by Naked Bjorn? Probably not. What is Naked Bjorn, by the way? Does that mean Naked Bjorn? The only thing that I know of Bjorn is the Vikings character, but I imagine it's probably a common name someplace, right? There we go, the first engagement on water is gonna be going in favor of nobody just yet, but Nale's got a lot more units over here compared to Nadia, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the teal player just dominating. There we go, fantastic. So we have Moses and Nali over here in conjunction going up against Nadia. Nali, of course, is going to provide the galleys since he cannot go for fire galleys as Vikings. But Nadia is going to be going for only one type of unit. This could potentially go in favor of the right hand side team, but it does not seem like it's going to be the case. Good stuff. We have a bunch more galleys hitting the scene right now for Nally as well. Oh, he can take the transport ship and he's gonna be taking it. Oh no, the transport ship is going down. There was a scout over there only though, so it's not the end of the world for Nadia, but you're certainly not gonna want to be in that position after investing the resources. Meanwhile, in the north, there's going to be another engagement over here with some galleys from Peron. Playing Italians, interestingly enough, could have gone for fire galleys, decided to go for regular galleys only. And then we are going to see some regular galleys over here for the Saracen player too. So they're not going to be going for fire galleys, and that is so good for Frizzle Bear. With the Castle Edge being here for the green player, we are going to see him land on the left-hand side island, where Andy is. And he's going to be getting stables up already. As a Malay player, he gets 30% cheaper elephants, and if we take a look at his production queue, you can see that he's going quite clearly for elephants. Let's see. Also, let me add something real quick. We are going to add a best of 3 message. like real quick. It's alright. But we are going to see the elephants coming in very soon for sure. You're confused? What is it? What is it? Oh, you know what? You're just going to leave it like this. Now the time to start working these things out. You're listed as a user in chat. That is true. This is not my channel. This is Deepwater's channel. Oh, and you're not? What are you listed as? Galleys coming in right now from Jan Perron. We see Frizzlebear coming in with a lot of fire galleys. So the amount of galleys that we have for purple and orange over here, it seems to me like it's going to be enough to hold on against these fire galleys, but it's not going to be easy because if he gets surrounded in a very similar fashion to knights versus crossbows, they're going to get cleaned up as well. Bunch of extra players going out to the castle age as well. Now with orange hitting the castle age, green player also hitting the castle age right now, and gray going out to the castle age as well. Things are going to get a lot more heated. This is what I wanted to see though. All the elephants are coming on the left hand side. They're going to find Jan Perron's units. He's going to find yellow as well. Andy is going to get spanked really hard over here by the looks of it. If you ask me anyway. I think that's going to be what happens over here. You can see the TC's coming up. But it should be too late. Come on. Nick and Bjorn, you should be able to deny this. You have 3 elephants and there is nothing that the yellow players got. Why is he not going for it though? I have absolutely no idea. He's taking all the villagers on the left hand side from Jan Perron though, and that's a beautiful, beautiful KD already for the green player. If you take a look at Naked Bjorn over here, it's going to be a 4-0 KD, which is going to be mainly villagers pushing Jan Perron away from the center. Now he's going to be going towards the TC, but he gave Andy enough time to get the TC up. The amount of elephants he's got is enough for him to take the TC down, no problem, but I don't think this should have gone up. And now in taking the TC down, he gave Andy enough time to go for a monastery, and this is the kind of stuff that allows your opponent to come back when you have the lead, right? There is no bot pyramid. There is not pyramid bot over here. Yeah, I don't think there is a bot over here just yet. There's still a little work to be done on this channel, for sure. But you should be expecting it to improve. And yeah, tournaments, for the most part though, have been a big success from what I have seen. Oh, Cheap is here as well. Nick and Bjorn can also target the orange player. You know, as Green's got a lot of units to work with over here, and he takes the monastery down before Andy can even go for a monk in time. Beautiful play from the green player. We are going to find him with the possibility of dealing damage to 3 players at a time, but at the same time that means that he's going to be 3v1. Or is he? As he pushed Andy away from the center, that's going to be only 2 players left. Now, he pushed the purple player away as well, so it's going to be a 1v1 in the end between orange and green for the center area. And it seems like green's got a lot more units than orange, and orange does not seem to have enough time to react against this. Meanwhile, on water, it's going to be the same story as it was before with Jan Perron, using just the galleys, and then we are going to have Frizzlebear over here with fire galleys. He's going after the castle age right now, so we're going to have to wait until he actually goes to fire ship. But yeah, while the left-hand side team seems to have a lot of water control, the right-hand side team is going to have land control. I see, Dancer. It happens. Alright. So, just as expected, Druzhina is doing a really good job on land, on water, sorry. But then Skärgården is gonna be doing a much better job on land. Sounds very much like a Nordic team, by the way. Stuff. It is areas in Sweden. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, it very much sounds super Nordic. Oh, the archer range is going down. Cheap cannot do too much over here. It seems to me like Druzhina is not going to hold on for too long, from what I can see. Skärgården, coastal areas with treacherous islands. Ah, it seems like a very nice name for this type of map. And it's certainly going to be intimidating for Druzhina already, that Skärgården is doing so well, taking the TCs down, pushing everybody away from the center. And as we are going to see Moses land over here, going for TCs, they do have a huge amount of Navy units. We are also going to see Nale landing, going for TCs. It seems quite clear Skärgården is going to be much better off this time around. Even if they lose water control, I think they are going to be much better off. In the center, of course, you're going to have a bunch of gold. We're going to have a bunch of hunting, bunch of wood too. Basically, the majority of the resources are going to be in the center. Big engagement coming up on the right-hand side. All the fire galleys over here from Nadia, who has not gone for the war galley, and he's just going for it right now, but he's getting pushed away by all the fire ships from Moses too. All the galleys and longboats over here from Nali as well. We have only 2 players for Druzhina. Struggling to keep up. They used to have the lead on water, but that is not going to be the case anymore as much. We need to see some microing over here for Nala though. Yeah, we need Skärgården to go back and try to take advantage of the castle to protect these units. It is nice to look at, but hard to sail in if the weather is bad. Makes sense. By the way, in this map, there's going to be a bunch of wool lines in the or on the water, like randomly on the water. You are, of course, not going to want to take wood from here. Like, it's really, really not a good idea. You just want to go to the center and try to capitalize on this. This is something you can potentially take advantage of if you fail to take control of the center and you still have water control. But yeah, not something you're going to want to go for while water is contested, because it's going to make for a very, very easy area to snipe for your enemies. Stibble's coming up right now for Bjorn, and that's going to be the 4th one, I believe. Yeah, he's got 4 stables already in the center. He's gonna start going for light cavalry right now, though. Take a look at all the monks that went down over there for Jan Perron. Unbelievable stuff from Bjorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 monks went down for Jan Perron over there. Do you know how many elephants he converted? Absolutely 0. Lost everything to light cavalry before he could do anything with them. And just like that, Jan Perron's going to get pushed away from the center once again for the 2nd time in this game. And now it's all going to be for Bjorn and the rest of Skärgården to take advantage of over here. Well, if we take a look at Cheap, gonna be trying to come back to the center, but I don't think they're going to have enough time to do anything against this. As long as Bjorn is paying attention and he patrols a few of these light cavalry around this island, I think he's going to be much better off. These battle elephants are quite clearly going to be much stronger than anything that any of the Druzhina players can come up with in a whim. So yeah, it's not looking good for the left-hand side team at all. Jan Perron is going to be out on his TCs. Right now he's going to start working again, but we have seen a whole lot of idle time over here for the left-hand side team as well. There we go. A lot of longboats over here for Andy. What are they going to do with that? I don't know, man. Even if they got water control back, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Like, Frizzlebear has already landed. Even if he gets pushed away from this area, it's going to be fine. He's getting a castle up here. He already has a TC, a good amount of villages in the center. basically all Skärgården players are already on the right hand side, right? Are already in the center rather. So we have Frizzlebear, we have Nalle, we have Moses, and we have Bjorn over here. While Jumper is still going to be very much confined to his own island, and so will be the case for everybody else. Bjorn, enough said. I'm still trying to work out what it's supposed to mean. It sounds to me like Naked Bjorn, but I don't know. I guess you know better. Oh, so Bjorn actually means bear? Okay, I only knew the name from the Viking series. I guess now I know what it means. Okay, okay. Oh, it's a nice sounding word as well, Bjorn. You know the people have the best words. Another Kazu coming out right now for Nick and Bjorn as well. I like it too. And then the Imperial Age is coming out right now for Moses as well. He's going to be the only player going out to the 4th age at this point in time. And if we take a look at the resources, we can see that Naked Bjorn has enough resources to go up. He just has not clicked up for some reason. He has the castles already, so he can click up, but he just hasn't. And okay, there we go. He's on his way to the Imperial Age. Now Nadia is going to have enough food, but he does not have enough gold. We are going to see Moses having enough food. Well, he is already going out to the Imperial Age, so basically Skärgården's looking extremely strong. Really good stuff. How's it going for B-Tarts? And they did a really good job over here, but was not enough damage to take the castle down, so he's going to end up losing his with the ram over here. Villagers repairing his own castle and also elephants to work with. Nick and Bjorn is going to solidify Skärgården's position in the center. I would love to see some support from his teammates though, because right now it's going to get a little bit too hard for him. Not anymore! Not anymore! I'm just calling the GG right there. Now he's going to call the GG. Jumper is going to follow suit, and that's going to be the first game going in favor of Skärgården. Let's update the score then. There we go. Let's take a look at the achievements. So we are going to have a beautiful KD for Nick and Bjorn. And I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be a carry player. Let me take a look at this elo. Oh, we don't have the elo command over here. Damn it. I'm just going to take a look at AOE2.net real quick. Give me a moment. AOE2.net. So Nick and Bjorn is okay. First off, AOE2.net's not working right now, so I'm just going to keep on going through the achievements. That's a KD. Also, the largest land army, I believe, even though the largest army overall was better for Nalle, I imagine that was mainly due to water units. We have also for economy, kind of a mixed bag all over the place, but for the most part it was much better for Skärgården anyway, which makes sense. We did get a little bit of slinging, but not too much. In the end, Moses ended up sending most resources to Nalle, and Frizzlebear was not enough for Druzhina to come back. There we go. Moses going out to the Fuel Age and Imperial Age faster as well. So I'm kind of curious about two players. I want to see Nick and Bjorn is going to be very close to 1600 rating. And taking a look at Moses, he's going to be very close to 1600 elo as well, so it makes sense that these players made it to the finals. After all, it was 16 teams that played in the tournament, and Skärgården certainly has what it takes as a team to make it. Let's go back. 1 second. Once again to game number 2 of the series, Crater Lake, which I absolutely love, you know it. But you know what? It's going to be very different in a 4v4 setting because the gold at the center is not going to be as much. Like if we take a look at the gold available to each player close to their base, they're going to have 8 gold over here, for instance. It used to be 7, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think it got updated. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's going to be 8 per player, which means that we are going to have 32 per team. And then if you take a look at the center, we're going to have, like, how much is this? That is going to be 10, 14, plus 4, that's going to be 18, 21, 24. And then over here, I imagine we are going to have a few more as well. So it's going to be more gold available outside the map than inside or in the center area, but it's going to be certainly still an area of interest, because I don't think players are going to be banking on trading too much over here. Or I guess they could, but with all the wood that we have around this area, it's going to make it kind of tough. Like, it's not going to be a very efficient trading path. You like the word arriba? Okay. Good stuff. We should include a chat over here somewhere, though, because we don't have one. I'm going to talk about that with the Deep Waters gaming guys, with the overlay guys as well. So we can include one, because otherwise people coming into the stream or watching the VOD at some point after the chat expires, they're just not going to have a clue as to what I'm talking about. Anyway. Oh, Nadia's going to run head first into the TC. Beautiful stuff for Moses. We can take a look at the civilizations over here as well. Again, for Druzhina, Chip is going to have Koreans, which is going to get free defense upgrades for archer units, if I'm not mistaken. We are going to get also 20% faster working stone miners, as well as 3 extra line of sight on villagers, free tower upgrades, and there's something else that I'm forgetting over here. There's something that I'm forgetting over here. What is it? You know, it's been some time since I actually had to introduce Koreans, and now with the November patch, I think they got updated. By the way, I think this might be the only civilization we have not seen in Terra Nova, like, at all, and nobody has drafted this for the knockout stage either. So yeah, I'm kind of rusty about the Korean bonuses. What is it? Villagers, extra line of sight. Call it. Military units are going to cost 20% less wood except for siege. Alright, so that is the one that I was missing. Okay, that's good. And also they're not going to get any extra range on towers anymore in the Castle and Imperial Age. Instead, it's going to be a technology that is going to replace the faster moving turtle ships, which is now going to be the default movement speed for their units. If I didn't know I would cast, I would have played in this game. Hey Pom, how are you doing, mate? All good? Well, there is another tournament that's starting very soon in January. It's the Deep Waters January tournament. Let's see. One moment. I'm going to share a link with you in case you want to sign up to it. It's going to be a 3v3 tournament. And I cannot find them for some reason. Just give me a moment and I'm going to get it for you. But you can also go to deepwatersgaming.com and you're going to find it. But here's the link, in case anybody might be interested in joining that one. I'm likely going to be casting the grand finals of that tournament as well. So let's see. We talked about Koreans, but Cheap is also going to be playing alongside Japanese. And we talked about Japanese in the previous one. It's faster working fishing ships, stronger fishing ships as well, and then very good infantry, and for the team bonus, extra line of sight on galley line ships. While they're going to have also Persians as their teammate. You know, in hybrid maps, I would say probably water team bonuses are going to be more important. So I'm not the biggest fan of Druzhina's army composition or team composition so far. Like Persians, yeah, getting extra damage from Nightline units against archers is not really going to make much of a difference over here, you know. Koreans, on the other hand, are going to be getting a mangonel related bonus, which is not good for water either. And yeah, Japanese are only going to provide extra line of sight on galleys, which is not the most useful. And Portuguese then for Yon Peron, they are going to provide... they get free cartography, right? But I don't know, I feel like Skärgården has been playing much better and the team composition seems much better as well. We're going to get Saracens. So the archers are going to have bonus damage against buildings. Then we are going to have Italians, which means access to condottieri in the Imperial Age for everybody. Oh, they're going to have Persians too, and Portuguese as well. So it's not going to be that different. I'm going to try to put another Druzhina team in for January 1, but Druzhina is also hosting a tournament ourselves, so time will be tricky. I see. Oh, so you play in Druzhina, Palm? Yeah. I had no idea. There's a list of players. I did not check the list of full players. But I think teams could sign up with up to 6 players, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know who the team captain is? Palm, by the way. I think it's Andy, right? Seems to be the strongest player, for the most part. Koreans, the man with the lowest side is the scout. You are the captain. Oh, okay, okay. Nice. Good stuff. Everybody's reaching the fuel age right now. It's only going to be cheap and Nakenbjorn to still be in the Dark Age. Usually you don't see people going to the center island this early. I don't think we are going to see it. But they could potentially try and start settling up over here. Especially if you have somebody going out to the Castle Age from your team as well. Which I imagine we are going to see very soon, as it's a very tempting map to fast castle. To have 1 or 2 fast castling players and potentially try to go for the center. As opposed to everybody just going balls to the walls fuel age. And taking ages to go out to the Castle Age. Also, the center island is going to be much larger than it is for 1v1, so even if you lose water control, like if you can get a castle up here eventually or something, you're going to be fine. And getting access to the gold is going to be the most important thing. ¿Pensaste que estaba en español? Leave Carlos, si querés ver esto en español, tenés que ir al canal de YouTube de Deep Waters Gaming, que lo puedes encontrar, bueno, buscando Deep Waters Gaming en YouTube. Y ya lo comentaron esto ayer. Así que puedes ver la grabación de directo. No problem, sorry about that. So far so good for Skärgården again. 2 games in a row, they seem to be dominating. Even though the score lead is going to be not too significant at this point in time. It seems like their team dynamic seems to work a little bit better. So are you casting regularly on this channel? Not so much, probably like once a month. One of the tags is Spanish? Oh, I see how that can be misleading. I am not a mod or an editor for the channel, I'm just a caster, so I cannot really change those things. But I'm going to bring those things to the attention of the admins, the channel admins, so they can fix those. But thank you so much for the heads up as well. Dancer. There we go. Looking really good for young Peron over here, not so much anymore. He did have a good amount of units, he does have a good amount of units, but once again, Sorbet is going to have fire galleys which can surround these and take them down no problem. He's just going to need some support, or he's gonna have to split his army and try to get a good pinching going. In a big mass versus mass of units like this, galleys are going to be better, of course, after you pass a critical point. In the south, meanwhile, there's going to be a whole lot of action over here as well, as Andy is going to be facing Nale, but also Moses. But he's going to have some support from Nadia. So this is going to go either way, I think. Is it? Imagine Nadia's getting a good engagement over here. Oh no, but it's going for the galleys, which means that the fire galleys from Moses are going to be doing a lot of damage to Nadia's units, but still they're going to manage to come out on top because of the huge support from Andy on the back with so many galleys. So everything seems to be falling apart for Druzhina once again. Skärgården is going to have water control very soon, as if we take a look at the military units, or the military count for these players, we are going to see for Skärgården right now. Let's see, about 11. That's going to be 31. That's going to be... yeah, it's actually going to be a little bit higher than that. It's going to be like 40 military units for them. Well, Druzhina, on the other hand, they're going to be actually a little bit higher, you know? So they are higher in military, but they are losing water over here. What is that about? That is about positioning, decision making, and team dynamics. If you have your army like this, although that was a very nice shot for Moses, and he's gonna be landing another good one over here, guaranteeing the lead for Sobit basically, and Nale. But yeah, when you have more units and you're still falling behind, that's basically team dynamics. The engagements, positioning, and timing have been much better for Skärgården, and even though the score lead is going to be there for Druzhina, considering how these players have been playing as teams, I would expect Skärgården to catch up or potentially pull ahead again. Yeah, they are doing a really good job. Nadia is going to get cleaned up right now. And this is forward, by the way. Like, this area is a forward area for Nale. And, yeah, his teammates. Moses here. I feel like as now we see a few players starting to think about going out to the Castle Age, the first player actually clicking up, and that's going to be Jan Peron. It starts to make sense considering the center, going to the center already. So you're going to be able to get a TC app or a castle or something. Castle Age coming up right now as well for Nakenbjorn as well as Sorbet. Oh, by the way, you know why maybe one of the tags is Spanish? Because it's a Spanish organization. But yeah, I don't think that's what the channel owner meant. If he wanted to say that it was a Spaniard, he was a Spaniard. But yeah, I'm going to let them know for later. There you go, 136 wood going from Nadia to Cheap. What is Cheap gonna be using that for? Not really sure. He does not have enough resources to go up to the Castle Age. Archery ranges? Man, Cheap's economy is an absolute mess. Nale is going to be much better off over here as well, so it seems like Skärgården is getting ahead significantly with Sorbet, Nakenbjorn, now Moses on their way to the Castle Age. They are going to be 3 Castle Age players versus only Jan Peron. And Jan Peron has been in the Castle Age, he's going for War Galley right now, but he's also going for Bloodlines. I see 2 stables over here, but man, if you're the only player in the Castle Age, you have a good amount of water units, I would expect you to try and focus on water so that they can get the water control. And go for full walls over here in any case. But I don't know about this. He's not going to have enough units to single-handedly defeat Skärgården over here. After all, once again, they are going to have 3 players in the Castle Age compared to only 1 right now for Druzhina. In any case, I am kind of surprised that Peron, if he wanted to go for anything other than water, did not try to land in the center. If we take a look at his resources, Peron is going to have still enough resources to go for 1 extra TC, so he could have placed this one in the center instead. But yeah. It seems like in the end, Nadia's doing a good job over here, but as Moses hits the Castle Age, we are going to see the War Galley upgrade coming up. And he still has a decent amount of units over here. He's been going for more docks in the south. So blue is here, Green is here. They're gonna be versus purple only. Blue needs to be careful because if he engages before time, he's going to end up losing a bunch of fire galleys over here before they become fire ships. Now they're coming forward. They're gonna be facing Nadia and Young Peron as well. And Nadia is coming in clutch over here to save Peron from certain demise. However, we don't have the war galley upgrade just yet for Nadia. Going for it right now only. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, we see a very nice push over here from Nick and Bjorn. Taking the TC down from Cheap. And remember, Saracens going to have 3 bonus damage from foot archer units against buildings already in the castle age. Fantastic team play as well. With Sorbit even joining the fight. Nice! Where are the turtle ships? Well, the Korean player is the orange player. He's not going to have enough economy to go for turtle ships at all. Basically, he couldn't even go for a good amount of galleys, and right now he's getting absolutely wrecked on land. Juegas de aguas profundas. More villages going down now as well. Yeah, they're getting cleaned up, so Nadia is going to make a big difference over here. And remember once again that the game is going to have 60 minutes of in-game time limit. And there we go. I'm gonna start going down right now. I use turtle ships, excellent use of pop space. Yeah, it's going to be one of those units, like Elephant as well, that if you don't have to worry about resources at all, if you can afford to go for like 60 of those, it's going to be much better off for you. It's going to be much more pop efficient. But right now, Cheap's got, taking a look at the population over here, Cheap's got 17 population, and that is certainly not good. Peron, Andy, and Naughty are going to be on 70, 99, and 78 respectively, but then if you take a look at Skärgården, on average, the population is going to be better for the right-hand side team. For the left-hand side team, rather, sorry, Skärgården over here. I would say good stuff, for the most part. Yeah, absolutely. There we go. It's gonna be taking all of the buildings from Druzhina with the archers. Nick and Bjorn is playing like an absolute beast. In game number 1, he went for so many battle elephants. This time around, he's gonna be taking down all the TCs as well. Different unit, same outcome. Same player, different unit, same outcome. Really good performance so far. Nice. There we go. With the combination of archers and also knights, it's going to be really hard for Druzhina to keep on holding on land. As Young Peron is getting pushed harder and harder, and he's going to end up losing another TC over here, probably all 3 TCs. He's going to end up losing a lot of villages, and then the water lead that they had is going to be gone. By the way, Sorbit is going to be landing in the center as well as Nale. So, yeah, Skärgården looking absolutely invincible right now. This is a very good position for Young Peron to land a good magnet shot, or a good set of magnet shots. He's got the magnet out, but good reaction for Nick and Bjorn. He didn't manage to take at the very least a few knights over there though. And that's going to be a decent shot, but it's not going to be as good as it could have been, and we are still going to have a very nice amount of archers over here with a good amount of knights left over, and it seems to me like Young Peron is going to end up losing a lot of villagers over here, but Andy is going to sacrifice all of his knights in order to buy Perón enough time to get the castle up, and the castle is coming up without any losses. Economy-wise, though, Perón has been heavily affected, and even though Druzhina still has a score lead, and they have, for the most part, water control, the center area is going to be so important, and it's going to be under Skärgården's control, that these two players could potentially sling the other two guys, and of course, Druzhina, on the other hand, is not going to have access to as much gold as Skärgården is going to have right now. Especially after this one runs out, he's going to have to go for this one, but it's going to be exposed. And then, obviously, Cheap is basically out of this game. Not going to be in this area at all. Instead, he has tried to reestablish himself in between Perón and Andy's bases. And then on the right hand side, or in the southeast, what do we have over here? Yeah, basically a stagnant position, where Nadia landed and went for a castle over here, but Moses is going to have some defensive castle and he's going to be just fine. And by the way, Moses just got to the Imperial Age now, so he's gonna be able to start going for trebuchets. Well, it's not going to be the case for Nadia, and it's really bad. Is Druzhina a Russian word? I know it's Slavic, but I don't know exactly from where. Could potentially take a look at Urban Dictionary, or I don't know if it's got words in other languages, but elsewhere maybe. Just Google it, I guess. Oh, Nadia was coming in here, but it's not possible to do anything because we already have full center control for Skärgården. Yeah, we have an organ gun right now as well. Going, it didn't help. Well, castle's coming out for Nadia. After losing the castle over here, it's likely that Nadia's gonna end up losing the center castle as well. Because we are going to see, for instance, green hitting the Imperial Age much earlier than red. Right? So, green's gonna be able to go for trebuchets earlier than Nadia, for sure. Slavic, do you know what it means? You said that it meant wife, right? Another card's coming up now for Sorbet. There'll be a similar word in Russian, Czech, Slovak. Okay, okay. Root is Slavic. I wonder if Google Translate has Slavic language. Beautiful defense so far for Skärgården. Another castle's gotta be coming up for the green player as well. And are you kidding me? Taking a look at his stone count, he does not have enough anymore, so I'm not really sure where he plays it instead. Did he sell the stone? Did he send it over somebody else? I'm not exactly sure, but hey, we are seeing water elephants right now. We might not see water elephants, but land elephants are going to be here from Persians. Beautiful. The English translation would be the followers of soldiers, or soldiers of a chieftain. Okay, I see. So it's like a crowd. Guys are coming out right now for Andy, but it's unlikely to come up as we are going to see Sorbet's castle come up significantly faster. Good amount of organ guns as well, taking all of Andy's villagers, and the War Elephants are doing a beautiful job soaking damage from the ships. Once again, Druzhina's got full water control, did not make a difference because the matter of the game is going to be in the center. That's going to be the main goal. The scouts from Nadia, it's going to be producing trebuchets right now. So we have one already out and we are going to see two more coming out. But we should see trebuchets for green already, and he's going to have one trebuchet already, and he should have another one on the way, but he's pop capped. It's not pop capped his house at 100 population. He needs to fix that. But that's going to be it. Wait a moment. Return to map. 195 years to go still, and they called GG once again. Dina is going to get spanked in Skärgården. Ends up taking game number 2. So that's going to be 2 games in a row. And thus ends up taking the tournament with a final score of 2-0 in a flawless grand finals. Let's update this real quick. 2-0. That's going to be it for the 4v4 Deep Waters Gaming December Community Tournament. Let me take a look at the achievements. And then we're going to be jumping into the next section of the stream. And remember guys, that we are going to have 6 more games to cast. These are not going to be community games. These are going to be pro games. So we have Daut versus Capoch. And I believe... Give me a moment. Project Belgium versus... Oh, I actually had the settings here. I'm not really sure where I left it. But yeah, it's going to be for pro players for sure. Yeah, you're gonna have to give me a moment so that I can find it. But let's take a look at the achievements. Finally, Nick and Bjorn is going to have a very decent KD. We are going to have a very good KD for Andy as well. But Andy is not going to be able to single-handedly carry his team, especially after Cheap lost so many units in the end. His population was always very low. And Jan Perron being hit really, really hard by Sorbet and Nick and Bjorn as well in the end. Ended up going population low really, really badly. Nadia was not able to get the pushes with the castle going at all. That's going to be about it. Yeah, alright. Let's go back. Hi and welcome everybody. Let me update the scoreboard as well. Belgium. I don't think we're going to be able to fit Project Belgium in this tiny space. And then Vodka, who we just saw play versus ACCM in the Terranova semifinals and perform really, really well. And guys, you know, this is kind of like the matchup that we were kind of hoping to get at some point. Because these guys have both gotten knocked out of Terranova. But Project Belgium went down to one of the best players, to Mr. Daut, in a full 5 games series. Meanwhile, yeah, it's been the same for Vodka versus ACCM, of course. So let's see who's gonna be getting the... I'm not really sure, what do you call it even? 5th game? 5th spot? Maybe? Anyway, for game number 1 then we are going to have Italians versus Portuguese. I think we're going to be using team colors over here. We are going to be using blue for Vodka. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is City of Lakes, right? 1 second. There we go. It is City of Lakes. So for Vodka, we are going to have Italians, which means that he gets a 15% discount to go out to the next stage, as well as a 15% fish and chip discount. He's going to get a 50% discount on dog technologies, and then on top of that, he also gets a 20% discount on gunpowder units, with team bonus being access to condottieri in the Imperial Age from the barracks. Project Belgium, on the other hand, is going to have Portuguese, and that means a 20% gold discount on military units, as well as a 10% extra HP on Navy units, 30% faster research and upgrades, and access to Feitoria, with the team bonus being also free cartography, which is not going to be useful in 1v1, of course. Alright. Let's see. For a house coming up already for Bagan, so it's gonna be getting the walls already. We had this map in the Open Elo Cups last August on my channel, and it was really interesting to see. It can be kind of campy though, because you can go for full walls around this area, and then people are gonna have to use transfer ships, right, to get units across. But we are going to see a dock already coming out for Project Belgium. It's got very good scouting information if we take a look at that. Oh, he doesn't know where Vodka is just yet. He's trying to find him. While Vodka, on the other hand, if we take a look at his scouting information, he's about to find Project Belgium. He's got a villager coming forward, actually. And then we are going to have a small engagement over here between the scouts going in favor of Bagam, who's got the first hit. Let's see how many hills we have over here. We don't have any hills. It's going to be almost completely flat. Like, we do have a few, but they are going to be very close to the edges of the map. So it's not possible for Vodka to get a better engagement over here unless going back towards the TC, and then Bagon's going to know when that is happening. He should be expecting Vodka to be going towards the TC. This is also going to have a 60 minutes of in-game time limit, and that is a perfect hit for Vodka. Bagon says, ooh. Vodka says yes. We're very happy about it. We see Loom coming up or being queued up for Bagon right now, which means that he's gonna be going out to the fuel H faster. While Project Belgium on the other hand, while Vodka Serie on the other hand is not gonna be going up just yet. Remember that he does get a 15% discount to go up to the next stage. Let's see. But he's also gonna be prioritizing economy by the looks of it. It's got a dock up here, 2 fishing ships. Well, we are going to have 3 fishing ships for Bagam, so everything seems to be a little bit better for the Portuguese player. 3 fishing ships and the fuel H coming up significantly faster. Well, we do see a sneaky dock over here for Vodka coming up. He's not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage over here, of course, until he gets to the fuel H himself. And I'm kind of wondering, does Vodka know about this dock? He doesn't! He thinks that he's going to be just booming in both lakes at the same time. And then Bagam, as soon as he spots the dock over here, is going to be clapping Vodka out of game number 1. Or at least that seems to be the case because... yeah. Because Vodka is not going to be in the fuel H for quite some time, as it seems quite clear to me that he's going to try to fast castle, and he's already on 28 villagers to work with. Fuel H is here for Bagam. Good stuff. And there we go. Ship going down right now for Vodka as well. But we are going to see fire galleys coming out already, and Bagam should be going for those. He's going to be going for one over here on the right hand side. He's going to push Vodka away from the center, or from this lake, from the north lake rather. And then in the south, Vodka is still going to be completely uncontested here, but I don't think that's going to last for too long. There we go. Fire galley coming out. I'm gonna allow that Bagon's gonna be fishing from next to the dock as well. I would really like for him to go for another fire galley because I don't think he's gonna be able to hold on over here for too long with only one. Or to do too much damage. I guess it depends. If Vodka goes for one himself, like Bagon does not need one right now, right? Because he's going to have enough with this one to take the fishing ships down. Or the one fishing ship down. Instead he's gonna be prioritizing land. But if Vodka gets to the fuel H and Bagon does not add another fire galley over here, then Vodka is going to have a chance of pushing Bagon away from this area. So it's not so much about doing damage to Vodka's economy because he already could take the fishing ship down with the fire galley, but it's about taking the dock down and completely removing Vodka from this area before it's too late. Now as Vodka gets to the fuel H, he's going to have a few choices. He can go for fire galleys to try and contest the water back, or he can just go for one demolition raft and try to land a nasty shot on all of these fishing ships. And that could be really devastating too. I would love to see the second one for Vodka. But instead, we are going to see archery ranges coming up and fast castling, as he was originally planning to do. But it's going to get pushed away from the center, or from this area anyway, sorry. Bauman, on the other hand, does not have enough resources to go out to the castle age himself at all. Instead, he's coming forward with some archers, trying to do some damage. Vodka is not completely walled over here just yet. And Bauman's getting some good scouting information with the spearmen as well. So this could be really bad for Vodka. He could end up losing this. A big deal of villagers. Where's the castle age for Vodka? Not going for it just yet. Instead, we are going to see some fire galleys coming out. He's delaying it. It seems to me like he's gonna try to come back over here. Oh man, Bagam managed to get some fire galleys over here in the south, or in the center pond as well. And he should be pushing Vodka away from this area for sure. Uh-oh. There we go. Yeah, it seems to me like it's just not going to be possible for Vodka to come back on water too much. So he just needs to try and... I would honestly prefer for him to go for a few demolition rafts and just try to take the fishing ships down, you know? Bayon took all the units from Vodka down over here, so he's going to be ahead by 3 villagers. And then over here, if Bayon lost these units, then Vodka would probably not be coming back, but he will still be able to... He'll still be able to at the very least keep Bayon in check. Villager going down right now as well. Bayon's doing a really good job. Fire galley going down. Both fire galleys going down. Vodka 100% out of water once again. 60% of his way up to the castle age. There we go. And it's going to be crossbows for sure. Both players get fully upgraded arbalesters, of course. And both players are actually fairly versatile, with also fully upgraded cavalier available to both of them. Now, Italians are only going to get pikemen as opposed to halberdier, which Portuguese do get. However, I think it's going to be much better the late game for Italians anyway, because of access to Hussar, and I feel like Hussar are going to be much more important than than getting halberdier. Mobility is king, and if you pay attention to your units, even if you are up against halberdier, should be able to stay ahead always. There we go. Good stuff so far. I think it's actually quite good for Bagam. We do have crossbows for Vodka though, but he's not using the range lead. He's not using anything, so he's going to end up getting cleaned up over here. And take a look at that. It's going to be GG as Vodka runs out of units on land and the water. He calls it, and Bagam's gonna be getting game number 1. This is all 3 games if I'm not mistaken, so I'm going to update the score, and that's going to be 1-0 in favor of Bagam. Let's go back, take a look at the achievements before jumping into game number 2. We are going to get a better than 2-to-1 KD ratio in favor of Bagam, and a largest army of 18-9 in favor of Bagam as well, so a perfect 2-to-1 ratio. Food, wood, and gold collection higher for Bagam. We're going to have on top of that also, the fuel age being faster for Bagam. More of the map explored, more villagers in the end. Overall, just much better game for the blue player here. Let's go back. Welcome everybody to Empire Wars. And what map is this? This is going to be Golden Swamp. Same players, different civilizations. We are going to be sticking to the same colors as well. So Vodka is going to be playing in blue and Bogum's going to be playing in red. In Empire Wars, players are going to start with a bunch of villagers already at the very beginning of the game. You're going to start with some drop-off buildings, some farms already made, houses, and even the barracks. So you can just get straight into the action. What do we get then for civilizations? Vodka is going to be playing Vikings, which means he gets free wheelbarrow, free handcart, as well as 10, 15, and 20% extra HP on infantry units in the feudal castle and Imperial Age, as well as there we go. As well as 15, 15, and 20% extra HP on warships, although I don't think anybody's gonna be going for warships over here. Or maybe we could see like the occasional demolition raft that could potentially work in the center shallows. Maybe. There we go. Incredibly enough, Vodka's going to be housed. He's going for the dock. Is he going to be going for fishing ships over here? Is he going to be going for water economy? I would expect to see military units coming out first, just because being in the feudal age means that your opponent can potentially go for military units as well. So we see a demolition raft coming out. He could potentially make the switch into fishing ships, but for the time being, that is not going to be the case. Quick walls coming up, or rather full walls coming up for Vodka, not so much as quick. Just full walls. Castle Age coming out for Bogum now as well. Good stuff for the most part. Bogum's looking very strong. The Castle Age being here, or it's going to be here significantly faster compared to Vodka. Bogum's going to get access to crossbows with +2 bonus damage against buildings already. Actually +3 from the team bonus as well. And we didn't talk about the Saracen bonuses, but yeah, they're going to be getting bonus damage from archer units against buildings, depending on whether they are foot archer units or cavalry archers. It's going to be less or more. But then for the team bonus, foot archers specifically are going to get extra bonus damage against buildings. So going for crossbows is going to be absolutely unstoppable, I would say. Right now, the military count is going to be 8-7 in favor of Vodka. But keep in mind, he's got a demolition raft. He's got 2 demolition rafts over here. So army distribution is going to be much, much better for Bogum, who's going to have predominantly crossbows. Or archers right now, and soon to be crossbows, right? Let's see. Yeah, he's got 7 over here, plus the scout that's going to make for 8 military units for him. Bogum's looking strong. Vodka's going up to the Castle Age right now. But he does not need... Bogum does not need to wait. He can just come forward. In the Castle Age, the archers are already going to have extra damage. So yeah. Build some houses. It is waterfront property. True. You can even walk on top of the water here. And get to swim with the fishes. Make sure to swim with the fishes, not to sleep with the fishes. It can be a very different idea. Kinda wondering if Bogum's going to come forward at some point to go for a forward archer range or not. Since he's got crossbows, it's not gonna be possible for Vodka to take advantage of the demolition raft over here. Yeah, as long as Bogum's paying attention, he can definitely take this one down. So Vodka can come close, but he's not gonna be able to take the units down at all. He only reduces about half HP of the knight over here. And now, Bogum's gonna be striking. Vodka's on the back foot. He's going to have a higher number of units, but it's going to be archers against crossbows. And these units for Bogum already have +2, so that means they got extra range compared to these archers. 7 versus 5. And it's overall a much better spot for Bagam, especially as he's got some knights over here as well to play the meat shield role. There we go, the demolition raft's coming over here, and it's going to end up losing a little bit of HP, but it's not going to be enough. And Vodka, 2 games in a row, is going to find himself on the back foot after losing a good amount of archers over here. Bagam's doing a really good job, and even though he's going to get cleaned up over here eventually, I think like he has disrupted Vodka strong enough, or yeah, the disruption has been big enough that Bagam's going to be on the lead for the foreseeable future, unless something radical is to happen and Vodka is going to be pressured to do damage before this lead for Bagam builds up too much. Right now the military count is going to be the same for both players, which is still better for Bagam, of course, because of the KD. Because he has killed more units from Vodka. For Vodka to have the same amount of military units compared to Bagam means that he has had to invest more resources. And also he's behind the villager count, which is going to be really interesting as well. Interestingly enough, Bagam is going to make a switch on water. We see 2 docks over here for Vodka, but Bagam is going to be going for war galleys right away. Bagam had interior lines. How did to screw this up?
What's that?
It was bound to happen. Nothing good lasts forever.
Nam?
Only a matter of time until Bagam can push Vodka away from water as well. I'm really sure about the switch into water though. It was Vodka. Yeah, he's gotta hurry though. Vodka's had the head start in water production for quite a while, and even though he's going to be on 2 docks only, yeah, he's got significantly more longboats, of course, or warships compared to Bagam. Bagam's buying himself some time by ungarrisoning a war galley, but it seems to me like he's going to end up losing everything over here. The reason I was kind of hesitant about Bagam going for water is because if you cannot outproduce your opponent fast enough, and you end up getting cleaned up and losing all the units you go for, and falling behind in KD once again, you have invested a lot of resources into units you don't have anymore. Which used to be the case for Vodka, which also gave Bagam a huge lead, but now it seems like it's going to be the other way around. It's all going to depend on how well Vodka can micro over here. Does not have ballistics. And Bagam, on the other hand, well, is not going to have ballistics either, but does he need it? They're going to be fighting point blank range over here, and it seems like Bagam's going to get cleaned up. As expected, man. That KD is going to be very even for both players right now. Damn. Good reaction from Bagam over here. Moving the villagers away right away, as we have some crosses from Vodka. And then over here in the south, we are going to see Bagam pushing on land once again. So on water, Vodka's going to be getting this no matter what. He is going to be taking the docks down for sure. Meanwhile, Bagam tries to push over here. Vodka tries to push over here. Bagam seems to be a lot more successful over here. And he takes the villager down. He's going to be taking the man down as well, or he's going to try to anyway. And oh, he just microed into the shot. And Vodka cleans up all of Bagam's units. Damn. Fireship going down right now for Bagam as well. Alright, so up in the corner, Bagam is blue and Vodka is red. Up in the corner, up in the corner. Over here. Let's see. Vodka's blue and Bagam's red. In the names, Vodka's blue, Bagam's red. In the minimap, Vodka's blue, sorry, Bagam's red. It's only here in the players list that it's going to be the other way around, I think. Yeah, I think the colors are going to be consistent, except over here, obviously. But yeah, you can see player 4, Vodka, over here. You can see player 4, Vodka over here, and player 4, Vodka over here. So I think the colors are the same everywhere, except in the player selection list. Indeed, Bone gets pushed away from water, which makes sense. But he does manage to click out to the Imperial Age faster, though. If we take a look at resources, Vodka cannot go out to the Imperial Age himself just yet. Despite playing as Vikings, he was just struggling. Gotta keep in mind, though, that I think Bagon's got only 1 TC right now, while Vodka might be on more than 1. Let me take a look at that. No, Bagon's on 2 TCs and Vodka's going to be on 2 as well, so it's just much better played by Bagon. KD is about 1-to-1. Military count significantly higher for Vodka, which means that he invested way more resources into military units compared to Bagon, and that is the key. You take resources away from one area and you put them somewhere else. Bagon's gonna be going out to the Imperial Age with those, while Vodka is going to have a nice water lead. %60 up. What is Bagon gonna be going for? I imagine it's gonna be Arbalesters. I think it's basically a no-brainer. I actually would have liked for him to go for 2 forward archery ranges and a siege workshop as well, but yeah, he would probably have gotten spotted. He does not have that many resources either, by the way. So he's gotta pick and choose. What does he go for? It's gonna be taking some gold right now, but that's going to be within range of Vodka's longboat. Yeah, 100%. Oh, Bagon, man. He needs to go for the center, but Vodka's got water control, so it's going to be kind of awkward. He's got only this gold that he can take from, and it's going to be kind of weird because of the archer range. Collection efficiency over here is going to be compromised. And then this is going to be within range of the longboats. This is going to be within range of the longboats. At the very least, he did manage to get the majority of this gold, though, so it's only going to be about 550 that he cannot take anymore. But this is going to be an issue, and he needs to clean up all the longboats. Alternatively, he can just come forward. There we go, without larger ranges and potentially a siege workshop. And if he comes forward and does enough damage to Vodka before the gold runs out, or even better, if he could take control of one of Vodka's golds, that'd be ideal. Oh, castle coming up for Bagon! Are we going to see Mamelukes? I think it's going to be for trebuchets and conscription, but can you imagine Mamelukes? I don't know about this. Imperial Age on the way for Vodka right now. To be honest though, against Vikings, I don't know. It seems like Mamelukes would be an awful idea. There we go. Castles coming up right now for Bagon. Still, only 3 villagers to build it with though, so it's not going to be coming up too fast. Crossbows, Vodka had forward. He has brought around, try and do some more damage to Bagon, but he's not able to. And Bagon, on the other hand, is going to begin the castle lab right away. 2, 1, there we go. And now what is it going to do? Trebuchets, I imagine, or conscription? One of the two. I would probably prefer for him to go for Trebuchet first, so that he can take the siege workshop down, the TC down as well. Well, honestly, I think with chemistry, he doesn't have it right now, but I would prefer for him to go for chemistry and bombard cannons because the mangonels from Vodka can still be very effective. Well, their archer armor is about to finish researching for Vodka, and he's gonna be making the switch into skirmishers, which reinforces the potential for bombard cannons for sure. Project Belgium might have lost water control, but he's still going to have the villager lead, and he still has a very good amount of units over here to do damage with. He's gonna be taking the mangonel down. That is a beautiful micro over there for Bagon. He will be taking these skirmishers down, is he? I'd say he probably would. There we go. Nice. TC is going to go down. He's just buying some time with the crossbows. It's not the type of unit that you want to lose. But yeah, when he adds some siege over here, he's gonna be able to keep on going for more crossbows. And honestly, there's not a whole lot that skirmishers can do against trebuchets and siege at all. So it's still a very good spot for Bogum. Vodka is still going to have the score lead at this point, and I think we are going to see him go for some trebuchets. Yes, first one coming out. But I think, positionally speaking, Bogum's not bad at all. And the score lead that Vodka's got is going to be greatly in part because of the Navy units he's got. Remember that military units are going to inflate your score quite a bit. Third and fourth archery range is coming up right now for him. Vodka's going to keep on going for Arbalesters, I imagine, very soon. But yeah, he's going for the Arbalester upgrade right now. But he needs to take care of these skirmishers. At least for the time being, he is able to keep the trebuchet HP up. Yeah, he gives the trebuchet's HP full. Now we got Arbalesters. He's got Bracer. He does not have chemistry just yet. But yeah, the Magna is going to be a fantastic addition to his army so that he can keep the skirmishers at bay. Now it's only a matter of packing the trebuchets back up and unpacking them close to the castle so that he can take it. And Vodka is going to be left on one PC only to work with, while Bogum's still going to be on how many? Well, he's coming forward, but he's got two. I imagine he's going to be going for a third one. No, it's just a lumber camp. But yeah, 2 TCs versus 1 TC is still going to be much better for Vodka. For Bogum, sorry. If he can push Vodka away from this area, he's going to be able to take control of this gold as well, which can make a big difference. Because once again, he ran out of gold in this area. That's going to be GG though! Bogum did not have what it takes! Oh, that is what you mean with the top and the bottom. That makes sense. Okay, it's my bad. So you were talking about the scoreboard, Flowering Dancer. I thought you were talking about the in-game elements. Yeah, you know what? I actually had forgotten about the little stripes over there. We can just change that, no problem. Give me a moment. So player 1, we're going to be doing Vodka then, who just won 1 game, so it's still going to be correct to have 1 point for him. And then Bogum, right? And it's going to be 1-1. Perfect. Let's take a look at the achievements then, and we're going to be jumping into game number 3. And then after this, we have Daut versus Capoch. For the KD, it's going to be about 16 to 15 in favor of Vodka, and the largest army of 50 to 26. I don't know if Bogum even knew that Vodka was not taking gold at all from the center, but once again, he was running out of resources himself, so it was not a whole lot that he could do anyway. And then we're going to have higher food and wood collected or collection for Vodka, and then stone and gold collection is going to be higher for Bogum. While for technology, faster castle and Imperial Age times for Bogum for sure, but was not able to take advantage of it. I feel like if he just stuck to land units completely without that water attempt, it would have been a lot better. But I understand. Welcome everybody to the final game of the series. Best of 3 between Vodka and Bogum, and then afterwards, once again, just gonna be jumping into Daut versus Capoch. Not really sure if I should have announced this on my Discord. I think Lord Patito already announced it on Discord, on the Deep Waters Discord. Let me see. Yeah. It's going to be deathmatch for game number 3, so as you can see from the resources. I'm really sure who's the better deathmatch player over here though. Do you guys know if Vodka or Project Belgium play deathmatch too much? So Camel's coming out right now for Vodka as well. There's going to be the Deep Waters format as well. We saw this in the previous event, Deep Waters 1, I believe, as well. So yeah, you get a little bit of everything, some variety. You get standard map, you get Empire Wars, you get Deathmatch too. Paladin's going forward for Baron right now. It's going to be Persians for both players, by the way. So we are going to see some Halberdier at some point for sure, but I actually like the Paladin for Baron a lot better. Because these units are going to be taking down villages much faster than the camels are going to be taking down the Paladins, right? Thing is, he does not have a whole lot of units for it just yet. So he's got to be careful. Meanwhile, over here, we do see some Halberdier coming out for Project Belgium. And Vodka is obviously not going to be able to snipe villagers with camels at all. Especially as Baron's going to keep on going for Halberdier. They're going to be taking down the camels much faster than they're going to be taking down Paladins. Yeah, there we go. And Baron is going to be certainly the player to take the most villages with the units he's got, I would say, anyway. Yeah, and the villager count's already higher for Baron. Vodka's actually kind of housed right now on 30 population. Man, building houses with one villager at a time is not going to be good enough on Deathmatch. And you can see how Baron's getting a 10 population lead already this early on. He's bringing the Halberdier forward to fight against the camels as well. And then he's going to be splitting the Paladins away from the rest of his army so that he can try and take some villagers down. It seems to be like Baron is doing a little bit of a better job over here. But let's see. He ends up losing a bunch of units himself, and now population is going to be overall higher for Vodka. Military count is going to be higher for Vodka as well, and Baron's just trying to get some villagers down. He's struggling too, though. Here we go. Baron's getting cleaned up though. Vodka's starting to mass a scary amount of units, and take a look at that. Vodka's going for some war elephants, and we have two already with two more on the way. Baron on the other hand is going to be going for Halberdier only, and I don't see a single castle on the way for the red player. Once they run out of resources, they're gonna have to make the switch into trash bows, or they're gonna have to have a strong enough economy on their own to keep on producing units, and that means obviously getting more gold miners out, getting more villagers out. And at this point in time, the villager count's going to be higher for Baron, but the military count's going to be higher for him as well. Yeah. I see. All right. Another castle coming out for Vodka. Kinda wondering if he's gonna be going heavily into elephants though. When he runs out of resources, and it's not going to take that long when going for war elephants, you're gonna be relying on your own gold collection, and right now the villager count is so much smaller for Vodka compared to Baron that I don't think he's gonna be able to keep up with production at all. Back home, Baron's gonna be going for Halberdier. It's gonna be going for Heavy Scorpion. Some Paladin as well, but not too many. While Vodka on the other hand is coming with some war elephants, is coming forward with some war elephants. He's got a siege workshop coming out. That's going to be the 4th siege workshop. He's got another castle coming up and another castle coming up over here. Oh no, this was Baron's castle. He tried to go for one forward, but he got pushed away, and now Vodka's gonna try to take this one down. Listen to the Halberdier fights. That's it. That's what I want to see. And the auditor shots are gonna be taking so many Halberdier down. Damn. Oh no, that's going to be a friendly fire. So he ends up losing one onager himself with his own onager, but Baron's gonna be struggling right now. As we can see, the KD is much better for Vodka. A lot of that's gonna be coming from the onager shots against Baron's Halberdier in this area. Meanwhile, on the left hand side, Baron's got a bunch of Halberdier. Heavy Scorpion still to work with, while Vodka on the other hand is going to have the war elephants that he cannot really run away with. And then we see more castles coming out for him. Right now, he's got a total of 6 castles, or rather 4 castles and 3 on the way. While Bagam on the other hand is going to have, oh, actually 6 castles and 1 on the way for Vodka, and then Bagam on the other hand is going to have only 2. That does mean though that Bagam should be able to hold on to his goal a lot better, and if we take a look at resources for both players, that does not seem to be the case, and I'm kind of wondering why that is a reason. Vodka's been going for war elephants. He's still doing much better off in terms of gold. He's got only 5 gold miners. Bao on the other hand's got a lot less gold. Well, he's been going heavily into heavy scorpions. He's going for trebuchets right now, and early on he was going for paladin. So I guess that makes sense. But he needs to try and take the extra villages he's got and send them all to gold, because otherwise he's going to be falling behind very soon. And he has done it! He's got 20 villages on gold, while Vodka's going to have like 5 only. Ramping up right now, going out to 11 villagers. Good stuff. So far, so good. Trebuchets are going to go down to the bombard cannon. Frankly surprised that Bagam has not gone for some himself. I spotted him queuing some cannon galleons earlier. Yeah. Hello, big fan. Hi. How are you doing? Welcome back. All the onagers going down though. They're gonna be taking a good amount of scorpions and halberdier down at the very least in the process. It's probably still going to be very much cost effective for Project Belgium. Now he brings all the trebuchets forward, but Vodka still has significantly more gold compared to Bagam. Only 1800 right now for Bagam compared to close to 7k for Vodka right now. This is that match, correct? Yes. And after this, which is the tiebreaker, we are going to have Daut versus Capoch, which is going to be really good. Did Terranova finish? Nope. Just earlier today, we had the first semifinals between ACCM and Vodka. Then we are going to have Daut versus Winchester. When they confirm the times, I'm going to let you know when that is. But yeah, it's probably going to be either tomorrow or next week. And then probably next Friday, we are going to have the grand finals. So still 2 more series to go for with Terranova. Yeah. All the scorpions are going down right now, but at the same time, I think this is just about equalizing the resources, the trade in resources, when you keep into account the fact that Vodka lost a bunch of onagers earlier for free. Church is going down right now for Bao. What did Bao's Trebuchets do over here right next to the castle? I have no idea. It must have been a misclick. Yeah, he probably tried to target the castle and he misclicked next to it. It happens. But yeah, that was really good for Vodka in the end. So far, the KD is looking better for the blue player. We are going to have a higher population total for Bagam though, with more villagers, although less military units. What happened to Capoch in Terranova? He didn't play his game sometimes, so he did not get enough points. And Bagam and Bars made Dragonstar and Bars made it to the knockout stage. All the Trebuchets going down right now for Bagam. Looks like Vodka's gonna be able to deny this castle. He's gonna try to, but the castle's coming up anyway. But we are still going to have a significant lead for the blue player. Bagam's making a switch into Hazard, and I think that's quite telling. If we take a look at resources, the resources over here for both players, we can see that Bagam is actually going to have a lot of gold for a change, but he does not have any food, he does not have any wood. Taking a look at population, he's falling behind. Vodka on the other hand has got a lot of food, so he can keep on going for... he does not have a whole lot of wood, so he's not going to be able to keep on going for half of the year, but he could potentially go for Hazard. And he still has a good amount of gold. The players are going to have a similar amount of stone, but I think that Vodka's economy is going to be much better balanced. Here we go, the Druzhina is going down. That castle, Fort Castle from Bagam is going to go down as well, and Vodka's looking really strong right now. Might have lost 2 bombard cannons over here earlier to the castle fire, but he's still gonna be taking this one down. They are both Persians, that is correct. Yes. There we go. No elephants from Vodka. Not anymore. From Bagam. Yeah, he's not been going for elephants at all. He used to go for paladins as soon as the game started, but he ran out of gold like really fast. Vodka was much better able to pace himself through this game. He's got a much higher population right now compared to Bagam. He's got more villagers, he's got more military units. The KD is much better for Vodka as well. And the trend is quite clearly favoring the blue player. Is that going to be enough for him to take this game? Clearly not. Bagam can still very much come back, and remember, the longer these games go, the more and more they are going to be looking like standard RM, and the better it's going to be for the better overall player, which I would say is probably Project Belgium right now. I would say he's probably overall better compared to Vodka, so Vodka's got to be careful that this game does not extend for too long. Otherwise, it's going to be significantly harder for him to keep on holding on. We have seen, though, that Bagam seems to struggle sealing the deal against good defenders, too, at times. Like we saw that versus Daut in the quarterfinals for Terranova. So maybe Vodka can hold on long enough. Bagam is going to be run out of steam. I guess we're going to have to wait and see, but yeah, Vodka seems to be doing alright for the time being. He holds on to his population lead. He's got 25 extra villages right now. 25 extra population, sorry, right now. And it's actually going to be 17 extra villages, which means that he's got a few extra military units. Yeah, took the castle down from Bagam. And now he can take this one down. He can take the siege workshop down. Very good micro over there for Vodka. He's gonna try to take the bombard cannons down, but we have some paladin coming forward from Project Belgium. I don't think we have enough halberdier over here to take the paladin down, so I think the paladins could potentially still take a few of the bombard cannons down. So Vodka's gotta be careful, and he's not being too much. So he loses 1, 2 bombard cannons. That's going to be 3 bombard cannons going down for him in the end. Not quite. And it's going to be 3. Incredible position for Bagam, all things considered. He's not being pushed back despite Vodka having had a much higher population count for a good chunk of the last 20 minutes. And even though in the north, Bagam's going to get pushed away from this area by losing the 4 buildings, I don't think this is going to do much damage to his economy, or significant damage to his economy, and I think Vodka is still gonna have to work much harder to take Bagam down. Bagam, on the other hand, has been doing a really good job holding on over here. Yeah, and it seems to me like he's going to end up taking these castles. He has kept all the attention in front of Vodka's base, so he's not getting pushed away himself. He will be taking it. He's got 2 bombard cannons, 3 trebuchets to work with. Could potentially try and take the... Oh, the bombard cannon took a hit on the head over there, a shot on the head. I almost combined shot and hit in a very unfortunate way. Starting with shot, of course. But yeah, he took one on the head, and now he's got to be careful because he's going to have only 1 bombard cannon to work with. That's another bombard cannon going down. Bagam is losing the mobile units, but he still has a good amount of trebuchets to work with. Vodka coming in with a few paladins to start raiding as well. And Bagam going for a huge amount of halberdier just to defend his economy. It's really good for Vodka. If he can, even if he ends up losing all the paladin, as long as he can keep a good chunk of balance economy idle, he's gonna be able to hold on to his lead. Like if we take a look at the resources, Vodka is going to be struggling right now for food and wood, but keeping the economy from bottom idle would allow him to get ahead and to keep on producing more and to hold on to the population lead he has had for the last 5 minutes. And yeah, overall, I'm convinced that Vodka's got what it takes to seal this one. Even though I was expecting Balan to do a little bit better at this stage, Vodka has proven that he can definitely compete neck to neck with Balan in the late game, even when this game is going to be looking very much like standard RM as opposed to deathmatch anymore. Here we go. Nice. Trebuchet going down right now for Project Belgium before he manages to take down the castle. He's got only one bombard cannon to work with, and Vodka lands a good shot over there, but it's not going to be enough. Unfortunately, no more units for Vodka over here forward, so Balan's going to be alright for the time being. Population still higher for Vodka. Resources higher for Vodka though. If we take a look at Balan's production though, he's going for a crap ton of paladins, but he's not going to be able to keep on affording them. Instead, he's going to be combining those with halberdier. Game looking significantly longer than I was expecting it to be. But yeah. Overall, good stuff. There we go, the halberdier going down for Vodka right now. Balan's going to have the more pop efficient unit over here to work with, but it's not going to be cost effective. So if Vodka can't hold on, Balan's going to find himself in a very awkward spot. If Vodka cannot hold on, Balan's going to have a death ball to roll over Vodka with. Once again, Trebuchet is coming out for Balan. Bombard cannon's coming down, so he's gonna be taking this castle down. It's going to end up taking it for sure. It's just, yeah, taking too long. Interestingly enough, if we take a look at the resources from Vodka, we can see that he has spent enough stone that he cannot go for another castle anymore. While Balan has enough stone despite spending a lot of resources repairing his own castles early on, he's going to have enough to go for his own castle, so he could potentially go for the castle over here and get the hill advantage. There we go, Bombard Cannon's taking the castle down right now, or he's going to try at least, but he's going to succeed. Vodka is struggling, and it seems to me like he's kind of losing the lead he had. Population is going to be significantly better for Vodka right now still, but Balan's catching up. This economy is very bad though, like Balan's going to have only enough to go for halberdier right now and trash units. And Vodka, on the other hand, is going to have still a good amount of gold miners. He still has a good amount of gold to work with, so he can add a few extra siege weapons over here. And he's going to be going for siege trap. Nice. This game might have probably a good 10-15 minutes left. But it's going to get very, very hectic. As now Vodka is going to try to spread around the map and push against Bagam in the north as well as in the south. Or holding on against Bagam in the south and pushing against Bagam in the north. It's going to be a lot more hectic. Some Hussar coming out right now for Vodka as well. Let me see how many castles we have for Bagam. It's got 5 right now, while Vodka on the other hand is going to be on 5 as well. Full HP too. So both players are going to have decent defenses. Barracks coming out right now for Vodka, so he's going to be going for halberdier. More halberdier in the north, halberdier in the south. Just bring it on, baby. Halberdier always. Now and always. Trebuchet going down too. Yeah, now the archer range's foundations are going down. Belgium still has enough resources to go for yet another castle. He could potentially go for one castle over here. Now that he got control of this gold as well, he is going to get a castle, but now that he's got control of this gold too, he was able to start adding some gold units. So we see some hand cannoneer coming out, we see some crossbows coming out. Crossbows are not going to cost gold to him, of course, but the hand cannoneer are, and they're going to be much better against infantry units compared to crossbows. So it seems like Belgium slowly but surely coming back. He's gonna be getting the castle up here on the hill. What is that then going to be? What is that going to mean for Vodka? It means that it's going to be much harder to remove Belgium from his own base. And then in the north, he's not really doing a whole lot. He's preparing a push right now with Halberdier and rams. So he's got some garrison rams over here he's coming forward with. And Belgium's going to end up losing the elephants over here to the Halberdier. But I don't think this push is going to be enough, honestly. Even if he takes down this castle, we're going to have another one coming up over here for Belgium. He's got a TC over here to work with. Yeah, eventually Belgium should be able to take the rams down. And what's most important is what's going on over here in the northeast, where Vodka's getting pushed away by trebuchets. These are not halberdier rams, these are trebuchets. And Belgium's also going to have halberdiers on top of that, as well as hand cannoneer and hussar. So he's got units to raid with, he's got units to defend with, he's got units to defend the units he's got to defend with. Even though the castle goes down for Belgium over there, I think he's going to be fine, or I think he should be fine. But he needs to bring a few halberdier already, because the castle foundation is probably not going to go up, as he does not have any defenses at all. There we go. Good stuff. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Vodka's holding on, but Belgium's still pushing really strong. As the TC goes down, Vodka is going to be exposed in this area. All the lumberjacks and also the farmers around here are going to be exposed to the elements, and the elements are going to have the shape of hussars. Meanwhile, we're also going to have a castle over here for Vodka to potentially defend with, but if we can get a good push going over here for Belgium, he should have enough units to defend trebuchets and potentially take this castle down as well. While in the north, we see more rounds coming forward from Vodka, though, and I like this a lot more. Belgium is going to make the switch into long swords. That is as high as Persians are going to get. Remember that in DeathMatch you start in the post-imp stage of the game, so all the upgrades your civilization can get are already going to be researched, and long swords are not going to be particularly good. I guess they are still alright versus Halberdier, but obviously if Vodka is to go for some trash bows, it is not going to be strong enough for Belgium anymore. Although Vodka is not going to go for that just yet. He's now trying to make the switch, but Belgium already has a few hussar over here to take down the villagers building the archer ranges with. 4 trebuchets for Belgium to push with. He's a little bit too exposed for my taste, but I think he should still be able to take down the castle. Let's see. 1 trebuchet going down right now for Belgium, and Vodka on the other hand is going to end up losing 1 trebuchet himself right now, not quite, and he takes down 2 from Belgium. He takes down 3 from Belgium. I was talking about the defenses Belgium needed to defend the trebuchets, because otherwise he loses them before he can take the castles down. It's a very expensive loss as well. 4 trebuchets are going to represent 1600 resources. We see more trebs coming out for Belgium right now. Let's take a look at the economy, as Belgium's got a much stronger population. He's also going to have much stronger economy and a much better Q, unit Q as well. Take a look at this and then take a look at Vodka's. Vodka's been going for villagers for the most part only, and now he's queuing a few Hazard, a few trash bows, but it's not going to be enough. And he cannot sustain consistent production. So Baron's going back slowly but surely. Score is still going to be in favor of Vodka. It's still going to be a flat 2k lead, but remember, 12k compared to 10k is going to be much higher proportionally speaking, compared to 28k to 26k, and that is not even going to be the case for too long, as Baron's getting very close to 27k. It's going to be only about 1400 extra points for Vodka, which means that he is actually losing the lead he has. And the longer the game goes, the better it's going to be for Bagan. He seems to be proving that. And even though he struggled to seal the deal against Daut, he's not struggling to seal the deal with Vodka at all, as Will Player is losing everything. And once again, in population, Bagan's going to be significantly ahead, with a much stronger economy and a much stronger army to work with as well. It seems to me like this might be the end of the road for Vodka in the series. Bagan's probably going to end up taking this. There's one final push he needs to do. One final bit before he takes this one, because Vodka does not want to go down, making it very hard. Another cast coming out for Bagam as well.
Oh my dear.
There we go. I think Trebuchet is going to go down eventually. I'm kind of wondering if Bagan's going to be going for a Bombard Cannon over here or not. Yeah, he's going for a few. He's going for 2 right now, so he can take down the trebuchets, of course. But yeah, right now it's not. Let's see. Right now it's not going to be possible for him to take this one down, as it's going to be guarded by Halberdier and crossbows. He's got the raid going though. Population still going to be technically higher for him. Villager count going to be significantly higher for him, about 30% higher. But he's struggling to translate that into an actual military lead. KD is still better for Vodka. It's going to be a very small lead in KD though. At this stage of the game, it's going to be about 12 to 11, which is not that bad for Bagan, considering that it used to be about 2 to 1 in favor of Vodka, like 5 minutes into the game. There we go. Seems to me like he's gonna be taking everything down over here with the trebuchet going down. Now Vodka's gonna be running out of defenses, and population once again much higher for Bagan, but growing significantly compared to 5 minutes before. And now the castle coming up. Where is he getting all this stone from? Let me take a look at this. Well, he has bought a little, but not too much. He still has some stone miners, so he could potentially go for more stone in the future in a little bit. Now, this is the kind of push that I was talking about. This is the kind of push that I think Vodka's not going to be able to defend against for too long. Let's see. Meanwhile, Vodka on the left-hand side is going to be pushing against Bagam. Doing a decent job of taking some villagers down, but it's so little. It's just a drop of water in the ocean. The amount of damage he needs to do right now to come back in this game is ridiculous. You can see how Bagam keeps on closing the gap. The score is going to be of only 1k right now for Vodka. Yeah, and as this castle has already been taking damage earlier, it's quite clear that Bagan's gonna be pushing right now. He's got trebuchets on the way, but he does not have enough population space, so he's got only the one to work with over here. Taking a look at Vodka's resources though, he cannot keep on repairing this castle forever, so he's probably going to end up losing it. Even if it's to one trebuchet only. More Hussar going around for Vodka. Baum realized about this, and he's moving around. I don't think this is ideal for him. I think he should have just let the villagers work and use Halberdier instead, but because he's pop capped, I think he decides to just move the villagers, because otherwise the Hussar are going to be doing too much damage until he can get actually units to defend himself with. Well, the Hussar coming in over here for Vodka. We have a good amount of Halberdier for Baum to defend himself with. Trash boots over here as well. They're going to complement his army. And now Baum with the second trebuchet already out is going to be taking this castle down for sure. He doesn't even need to unpack this one. And he can move on to take the TCs, take the castles down from Vodka over here. And it seems like defenses are going to be running low for the blue player very soon. As if we take a look at population, it's going to remain much higher for Baum. And even though the villager count is going to still be higher for him, it's only going to be by 12. Which means that Vodka is trying to catch up economically. Still has a lot of work to do. Good stuff. Yeah. Vodka's holding on, but Baum's got a lot of siege weapons over here. 4 trebuchets to work with. Baum's gotta be careful, man. Come on! No! He lost the trebuchet! He had the villagers to repair it with, and he had the paladins over here, but he was not paying attention. Oh, that's gotta be so rough, man. He almost loses another villager, another trebuchet over there, but he's still going to have 3 to work with, so... This is probably going to go down. The castle's probably going to go down. Everything is looking bad for Vodka. Even the rate that he had going on Baum's base is going to run out. And yeah, Baum just keeps on increasing his lead. Let's see. Vodka's holding on still. I kind of wonder how many resources Baum has lost on all the trebuchets. I remember he lost 4 some time ago. He lost 3 right now, so he probably lost 4 more than that, so that's going to be like 11, which means 4,400 resources, right? 4,400 resources. Considering the KD that we have right now, I imagine that's not going to be too much. And great, yeah, when you take a look at the great picture, at the big picture, because I mean, no matter what units you go for, you're gonna be spending a lot more than that to get over 1,300 units, for sure. "70 years left, by the way. And we need a 1,000 score lead for Vodka, and he's fighting for the score. 4, 3... Oh, Baum calls a GG right there. Vodka was on a close to 2k score lead, and remember, guys, that, yeah, Baum was against the clock over here. There was only 60 minutes of in-game time, which is going to translate to about 42 minutes, I believe, of real-world time. And that was a long game. That was a long game for sure, but yeah, let's take a look at the achievements then. And that's going to be it for this series between Baum and Vodka. Let me update the score, by the way, so Vodka's gonna be getting 2. And I think the game kept on going for 15, 30 more minutes. Maybe Vodka was going to end up losing, but hey, we have seen this already in Red Bull. I believe in some of the qualifiers, we have seen some players winning with score by time limit. So it's not the first time. Let's take a look at the achievements then, and that's going to be a total KD of about 14 to 13 in favor of Vodka, with the largest army of 12 to 8, or 124 to 85 for Baum and Vodka respectively, and for economy, much better for Baum across the board, with Vodka getting only more wood. And that's going to be it. We don't have to take a look at anything in technology. 144 to 134 villager high for Vodka and Project Belgium respectively, and 4 relics capture for the red player as well. So, guys, I'm going to be right back. We are going to have... So let's go into it. Welcome everybody. Daut's gonna be playing blue and Capoch is gonna be playing red. So we already have the scoreboard updated as well, and it's going to be the same as we saw in the previous one. It's going to be 3 games, alright? So for game number 1 we have Alpine Lakes, which the players are a big fan of. And on top of that, let's talk about the civilizations real quick, starting with Daut. Indians are going to get faster working fishermen, which are going to be super strong on this map because of the ability of taking the fish right from the ponds, right from the lakes. So 10% faster working fishermen for Indians. On top of that, they get 10, 15, 20 and 25% cheaper villagers in Dark Feudal Castle and Imperial Age. For the team bonus, they're going to have 4 bonus damage against buildings from Camel Rider units. They used to have +1 Pierce Armor on Camel units, but I think in the November update, that got changed to +1, +2 for stable units, +1, +2 Pierce Armor for stable units in the Castle and Imperial Age respectively, and they have lost Plate Bar and Armor. So that is going to get some benefits of Indians, of course, still. Faster working fishers. He's going to have also the cheaper villagers, but it's not going to translate to the late game as strong as it used to. And taking a look at Capoch on the other hand, he's playing with Chinese, which means he starts with extra villagers. But that also means that he starts with 200 less food and 50 less wood. And on top of that, we are also going to see 10, 15 and 20% cheaper upgrades in the Feudal Castle and Imperial Age. There we go. As well as 5 higher population support from TCs and 5 higher line of sight on TCs, with the team bonus being 45 extra food on farms for free. Namaste versus Ni Hao. Indeed, indeed. What do you feel, guys, about being the only people watching this? Because I don't think anybody else has covered this at all. It's only Deepwater's YouTube channel in Spanish on yeah. People watching on YouTube yesterday, and now you here in English today. But I don't think the players have streamed their point of view. I don't think anybody else has cast this. So you're legit the only people watching this right now. It makes you feel special, doesn't it? These are exclusive matches, you could say. Here we go. 4 coming in right now for Capoch. We talked about civilizations already. We could take a look at map generation real quick. So we have 2 secondary goals on the back, or 2 4-tile goals on the back for Capoch. Daut on the other hand is going to have 2 secondary goals like to the sides of the TC, kind of far away. Not going to be as nice as having them on the back, but it's still going to be fairly close to the TC. And then we have neutral goals around the slopes. So over here, over here, over here as well. It's going to be basically 5 goals for each player, for a grand total of 17 tiles for each. It's like when I watch Needly Cast and write, "Damn fat on that castle," and nobody understands. Let me see, what is that emote, by the way? It seems like a female Pepe. Yeah, nice. I like it. It's kind of like a feels Batman, but at the same time kind of looks like Pepega. Village coming out right now for Daut as well. Sag. Oh, I see. Nice. Oh man, what a nice emote, honestly. There we go. Barracks coming up right now for Daut. So we are going to see him go for stables. That should be the case. He's going up on 19 villagers, 20 population, so it's going to be scouts 100%. And Capoch, on the other hand, does not seem to be interested in going after the fuel leech at all, so he's probably just going to try and fast castle instead, which is going to be risky, man. He's going up on 24 villagers, and he's got Chinese. Yeah, let's see if he can get away with it. Banijin. Is that the channel that I hosted earlier? I hosted some girl, and she was having New Year's already outside the door or the window. I think there were some fireworks. I don't recall the number. Oh, sorry, the name of the channel. But it seems like very, very Eastern. Oh, she doesn't play OE. I see. I see. I don't know where the woman I hosted earlier was from, but yeah, it was very early for New Year, so it was probably Vietnam or somewhere around there. Maybe actually Eastern than that. Easterner. Tower coming up right now for Daut. This is beautiful timing as well, and take a look at that. He recognized Capoch trying to pass castle, and he reacted to this in a perfect manner. He's getting the... What did I say the other day? You need to get the tower up before the 11th minute mark if you are to prevent somebody from fast castling at the very least. If it's earlier, it's going to be ideal, and now Daut's going to be getting the tower up before Capoch can get his. And Capoch's got 24 villagers. Does not have enough resources to fast castle with. Daut did not know if he was going to fast castle or not, but he brought the villagers anyway, and it seems like he's gonna be able to do some good damage still. Yeah. Yeah, seems to be the case. Good stuff then. Alright. It's gonna try to break through. Not possible. Yeah, and this is completely closed, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. It's gonna try to break through over here. Another tower is coming up, and Capoch is gonna try to place a tower himself over here. I think Daut's gonna be getting his one up. Still. No matter what. 600, 650, and there we go. Towers already up. Daut's gonna try to get a villager down over here. Capoch should be able to hold on to all his villages while getting his own tower up, I think. And he will. Yeah, that's just going to be annoying at this point in time. It's 5 villages garrison for Capoch right there. Daut's going to have 5 himself too. Full HP, unlike Capoch. So the HP pool is going to be a little bit better for Daut. Another tower is coming up for Daut as well. Is he sending another villager? He's sending the one sneaky vill to get the tower up and push Capoch away from the berries. And over here, he's doing kind of a better job compared to Capoch, I would say. Yeah. Capoch's villagers are losing a lot of HP, and Daut on the other hand is doing much better up. How many villagers do we have over here for Capoch? He's got 5. Full HP though. He's cycling through villagers, so that is one thing that you do get when you're playing with the defender's advantage. You can't just recycle your villagers. You can just send the weak ones back towards the farms and keep them working close to the TC. You can bring full HP villagers towards the tower or the walls and repair and whatnot. So that's not going to have an easy time over here taking villagers down at all. Taking a look at Capoch's tower once again. 5 full HP villagers garrison. Seems like the house is going to go down, but Capoch is still gonna be able to hold on to the walls. Oh, that's so good though! That's so good though! If Daut pays attention over here, he can take the house foundation down before Capoch can get it up. And that's beautiful micro from Daut, and Capoch just trying to keep the house up, but it's so difficult. And he ends up losing one villager. Daut is taking that house foundation down eventually. It's going to take some time, but he will. Meanwhile, all the villagers are going to be still up and alive for Daut. And his position is looking fantastic. He's coming in, he's coming in. He had to go for another foundation over here, but he was not able to go for one on time. And now that's going right out to the tower so that he can eject all the villagers. And then he's going to try to get another one. And let's see, he's going to try to surround one. So that's one villager going down for sure. He's going to try to get another one. Cannot do it, as we have a spearman coming out of Capoch's barracks. So Daut bails, but is still in a very nice position. He can keep the tower up for the time being. He can try to keep on taking villagers down. He can use the tower to defend the scouts against these units as well. And if you take a look at this, Capoch is paying attention to the tower. Now he's paying attention to the army. Now he's paying attention to the tower once again. And he has to split his attention between both places. Daut on the other hand is going to be paying attention to this area for the most part. He needs to micro these army, of course. But still, it feels to me like it's going to be a little bit better for Daut. Assuming he can keep up with everything, though. Tower's going down right now for Capoch. He cannot keep it up anymore, so he cannot keep on taking wood from here. As Daut already got the tower up over here with the one villager, and he went for a house and some palisades. Capoch is getting pushed away from the barriers indefinitely, and then on the right hand side, it's the only area where he's gonna be able to take wood from. Not really, he's got some wood on the back. Alright. But that still managed to get some good value over here. Keeping a bunch of Capoch's villagers idle. While also... There we go. Yeah, causing Capoch to have to spend extra resources in another lumber camp. The arch is coming forward right now for Capoch. The army he's been massing is going to try to do some damage over here. And Daut, on the other hand, is going to be completely walled, so he does not have to worry about too much. There we go. Should be able to take this one down for sure. Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic defense for Daut. But Capoch's got the archers over here, so it's going to be really hard for Daut. So eventually Capoch is going to break through unless Daut goes for a tower over here or something. However, Daut's going out to the castle age, so he might be feeling tempted to just hold on, try and hold on and play defensive, and then eventually he's going to be able to go for... He's going to be able to go for camels, right? Or even light cavalry. So he's got a good amount of scouts. I think light cavalry could potentially work really well. Oh, another defensive tower over here for Capoch. Daut's still holding on though with whole 5 villages. Oh my god. And he's got full HP on all the villagers. He spent so much time with the villagers inside the tower that he actually reset the HP of everyone basically. That is so nice. Who needs a defender's advantage when you're gonna be able to heal your villagers for so freaking long? Only about 5% more until that hits the castle age. Meanwhile, Capoch is getting kind of close. He's gonna be getting to 600 food right now. It's certainly intimidating to see Daut get into the castle age faster than you in this position, but at the same time, you gotta keep in mind too that Daut does not have a whole lot of threatening units to work with, and Capoch knows that because he hasn't spotted any archers. It's only been skirmishers for Daut and one scout. He knows that there's not a whole lot that Daut's gonna be able to take advantage of the castle age. In Serbia, walls builds you. Oh god. Did you just find that meme, by the way? I remember seeing that Russian meme some time ago. I saw it again on Modern Family. I was binge watching the series the last month, and by season 7 I think, or season 8 I don't recall, which was like from 2016 they actually mentioned those memes. And yeah, I actually had forgotten about those until then, but I forgot how good they are. Let's type a joke called Russian reversal. Yeah. Exactly. 2 stables coming out right now for Capoch. He can go for knights, as he knows that Daut's gonna be going for camels, so I think he should be going for camels himself. Maybe add a few pikemen into the mix. It's going for forging right now. It's going for bloodlines, so it seems like it's going to be camels for sure. Yeah. That's not going for elite skirmisher though. As a matter of fact, he's not going for much of anything. He's got only scale barded armor as opposed to chain barded armor. Serbia will I over chows you? Oh man. One villager went down for Capoch over there. He's been the one losing the most villagers, which reflects in the villager count over here. 48 for Daut, 44 for Capoch. Meanwhile, we'll see a second TC coming out for Capoch. That is going to qualify as a panic TC. It seems to me like it is, but I don't think it's going to be able to get it up though. We have only a few archers over here for Capoch to defend with, and 2-3 camels, but Daut's going to have more camels with better upgrades. He's going for the elite skirmisher upgrade right now, and elite skirmishers with Vodka and arrow are going to have as much damage as a fully upgraded fuel H archer, which means that with the amount of archer, the amount of skirmishers that we have right now from Daut, he should be able to snipe these villagers without too many issues. Yeah, he can take those. He can't take those. He should try to take those, but he's fighting against the camels right now. Well, he had the chance. Not gonna be able to right now. Yeah, well, that was a very good distraction from Capoch in any case, and now he's gonna be getting the TC up. Or at least I think he should. It's going up fairly slowly, but it's coming up. Alright, good. Let's see. So far, I think the game is going slightly in favor of Daut still. But that might not be the case in 5 minutes from now, because Capoch has been playing really well the defensive game. And now that he's got extra TCs to work with as well, he's gonna be booming away, while Daut on the other hand is going to have 2 TCs to work with, 3 TCs to work with, alright. So that means he should be able to hold on to the villager lead he currently has. Nice. Perfect. It's gonna be going in favor of Daut, I think. No, Capoch's got more units. We do have some skirmishers for Daut, but it's not going to be the best against these camels, so Capoch is cleaning Daut up. There's these 2 monasteries coming up right now for Daut as well. It's got outposts. He managed to get a tower up over here, which Capoch is gonna be taken down with a camel too. If Daut had murder holes, he should be able to take the camel down, but that's probably too much investment for a single tower. There we go, the camel is taking the monk down, although the conversion did connect in the end. Daut managed to get it. And now Capoch is going to be still kind of on the back foot. So hard to tell. He is behind the villager count, but he's ahead of military and he's got twice as much. Meanwhile, Daut, I'm kind of wondering if he's going to go for a 4 TC at some point. He's going for a bunch of farms. Now we see a 4 TC coming out for Capoch instead. Huh. I don't know if that one's going to go up. Daut's gonna try to prevent it from coming up. He's gonna try to go for some conversions, and he gets 1 conversion, no conversions whatsoever. RNG over there absolutely wrecked out. Capoch took all the monks down with the archers, and now he's gonna have a lot of camels, a lot more camels compared to Daut to play with. It's going to be 12 versus 8. And even though we do have 2 monks over here for Daut, if he manages to get 2 conversions, that's still going to be 11 to 10. Or 11 to 11 right now as we get more camels coming in. That's going to be 12 to 11 in favor of Capoch if Daut gets another conversion. I think Capoch should consider just going in, because he's got the archers, which Daut does not have, and Daut already used one of the monks to land a conversion, so at most he's going to lose 1 more camel. And if he can come in with all the units that he's got right now, he can definitely clean this up. Like 100% he can clean this up. However, because he's not hurrying to take the engagement, Daut's monk is going to get his fate back, and now he's going to be able to go for 2 more conversions. And a monk that converts twice is a monk that converts too many units. That's like a monk that converts too much. Daut got pushed away from the tower over here, and he brought the villager out. He trapped the camel from Capoch in. There we go, Capoch realized. And yeah, he went out with the villager. Doing a really good job for the most part. There we go, the tower is going to go down. Good stuff. Yeah, I think this one is going to be... going in favor of Capoch. He's got the crossbow upgrade right now, and he's going for ballistics as well as padded archer armor. So there's not a whole lot of chances for that over here. Over halfway through the game, we see the Daut's holding on to a very slow lead that's going to be gone right now. So it's going to be super back and forth. But remember that if we do get to the end of the time limit, player with the highest score is going to win. So let's see. Daut's coming in once again. He's going to get extra pierce armor with these camels. He's got a lot of units as well. It's going to be 20 camels versus only 14. So I think Daut might be able to get this. He's going for a conversion as well. He managed to get another camel, so he's going to be taking all the camels down from Capoch, who's going to be losing a lot of points right now. And now the crosses are going to be left against all these camels from Daut. And if the blue player realizes about these idle units that he's got to work with, he should be able to clean this up a lot easier. Now he's going to realize, but he's going to lose this 3 camels anyway. And yeah, imagine if he had all the camels in place, he would have been able to take down the crossbows, while now the crosses are going to be taking down a bunch of these camels. And even though they are going to go down, I would say that probably the trades were a little bit better for Capoch over there, as a matter of fact. I would love to have the value, KD value over here, for sure, but yeah, no capturage for us for the time being on this channel. Maybe for the next time. Especially now that it's a publicly released software. There we go. It's coming in. Daut's got a few camels to work with. Military count's going to be 50% higher for him, on 21 to 14, now to 15 for Daut and Capoch respectively. We are ramping up population as well, getting close to 40 minutes into the game, and 136 to 130 population for Daut and Capoch respectively. It's going to be mostly the military units that are going to make the difference. Daut seems to be saving up to go out to the Imperial Age, so he's only going to be waiting for the gold right now. And there we go. He should be going up right now. I'm not really sure why he's not going up. Does he not have the buildings? I know that he's got a monastery. Oh, he doesn't have the buildings. He does not have a university nor a siege workshop, so he needs to go for one. He's going for the university with a crap ton of villagers. After all, take a look at the resources. Daut's got 1300 ELO worth of resources right now before going out to the Imperial Age. But certainly, Capoch is going to keep him on his toes, so it's understandable. Let's see. When is Capoch going to be going up himself? Well, it does not seem like Capoch is going to have enough resources to go up himself at all. If we take a look at this point of view, also, Capoch is going to have a lot less food workers. He's been going more heavily into camels, I believe, for the longest time. He is also on 40 Cs, booming quite heavily, which means that he invests all the food in villagers and the military units as well. That's gotta be careful though. If you can go for Imperial Camel, I think that's still going to be a little bit better. They do have one less melee armor, although I do not think that's going to be particularly relevant against pikemen. Or potentially halberdier even for Capoch, but yeah, let's call it pikemen for the time being because it doesn't seem like Capoch is going to be going up just yet. He's getting very close though, he's got the resources right now. And he went for a few upgrades, so that tells me that he did not have the buildings. Indeed, he has a university, but he did not have a monastery, not a siege workshop. So he's getting a castle up right now, and he's going for the monastery anyway. And yeah, either one of these is going to be enough for him to go out to the Imperial Age, so he's gonna be on his way out very soon. Second player to mass a lot of resources though. PLH is here for Daut. It's got higher population, much higher military count, and stable coming out right now for Daut as well. Does Capoch know about this stable coming out? He does. And Daut's going to go for another one? He's going for another one! And Capoch is not doing anything about this. Incredible sneaky villager over there for the bull player. Kinda sloppy from Capoch not to realize about that at all though. 20 camels right now coming in. 17 skirmishers. The Imperial Age is going to be here fairly soon for Capoch now. Daut is going for heavy camel upgrade. By the time Capoch gets to the Imperial Age, Daut is going to have the upgrade already, and taking a look at his resources, it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to go for the Imperial Camel upgrade just yet, but I'm very sure it's going to be in his mind. Remember also that Indians are not going to get plate barden armor anymore, so these camels are only going to be getting up to +2 Pierce armor. Do get +2 melee armor. They do get +4 Pierce armor. And yeah, that's a civilization bonus these days. But it's not as strong as it used to be, of course. Some villagers going down right now for Capoch over here for sure, but the castle is going to be coming up no matter what. That's going to be the second castle he gets out. And I'm wondering if he's going to make the switch into 2 canoes. So far, I have seen him go only for light cavalry and pikemen. As he hits the Imperial Age as well, we are going to see what he goes for, and for the time being, there's not going to be a whole lot. But he's going to have the choice to go for heavy camel rider. He's going to have the choice to go for arbalister, potentially even cavalier. Or obviously, 2 canoes, trebuchets, that kind of stuff. I think it's probably going to be going for trebs right away. Not really. And he's got 2 castles to work with. It's kind of tough for him though. Oh man, Daut has gotten 5 stables on the back of Capoch's base, and Capoch had line of sight of all of this coming up. So Daut's gonna start raiding the crap out of Capoch, and as Daut's going for the trebuchet since earlier as well, Capoch is probably going to end up losing the castles himself. We see a second castle coming up over here for Daut. He's going to be surrounding Capoch effectively. He's going to be getting a very nice score lead as well. And while we approach 50 minutes of game time, we are getting closer and closer to the 60 minutes time limit. And that's about it. That's going to be about it anyway. If we do get to the time limit anyway, I think Capoch is probably going to end up calling it sooner. After all, in population, he has fallen behind significantly. Yeah, it seems to me like he has fallen way too much. The castle's going down. He's not going to have any defenses anymore. He's been going for crossbowman. He's got the Elite Skirmisher upgrade coming up, but Daut has had Elite Skirmishers already for a while, and he's taken all the crosses and half of the year down from Capoch for sure, so it seems like the red player is gonna be calling the GG very soon. As soon as he loses this castle probably, and even though he takes one down from Daut, Daut's still going to have another one forward, and he's got 5, 6 trebuchets to work with. Well, Capoch is going to have only one, and it's not going to last for too long. More like cavalry as well from Daut. A forward castle that goes up is known as a flower and dancer castle. Please don't tell Daut that I wrote that. That's GG, guys. That's GG. Daut's gonna be taking game number 1. So let's update the score. 1-0. And now we're gonna be jumping into game number 2 in just a little bit. I believe it's going to be also Empire Wars, but let's see. It's going to be a military, that's going to be a KD of about 5-3. We are going to have also the largest army of 69-46. For economy, we have food, stone, and gold collection higher for Daut, while Capoch is going to be getting more wood. Technology, on the other hand, feudal castle and imperial age times faster for Daut, as well as more relics captured. And the villager high was better for Capoch. In the end, it seems to me like he overboomed a little bit because he probably did not have enough population space for military, or actually maybe he did. I don't think he ever got to 200 population, so maybe it didn't make much of a difference at all in the end. For game number 2 then, give me a moment. Here we go. This is going to be Empire Wars, indeed. And yeah, these maps are all part of the built-in maps. They just come into the game in case you're wondering about these. These are just standard maps. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, it's good. Archer range coming out for Capoch right away is gonna be getting some walls up. In Empire Wars, because you start with extra villagers and you start with a working economy already, you don't really need to wait too much. You can just go into the stuff already. Daut is going to get chased away by Capoch. Don't think it makes too much of a difference. Yeah, he knows where Capoch is already, so that's everything he needed anyway. And Capoch, on the other hand, doesn't know where Daut is. Doesn't really know where Daut's going to come from, by the way. But yeah, this map looks like a whole lot like Kilimanjaro, but a little less staggered, I guess. That does not chase away, he's advancing in reverse. There we go. Capoch, I will say, in this map with this civilization, let's talk about the civilizations real quick, by the way. Daut's gonna be playing Vikings, so free wheelbarrow, handcart, as well as extra HP on infantry units, and some water bonuses which are not going to be relevant over here. Is going to have a very good civilization to work with. One with the best economy in the game for sure, but Capoch with Tatars, if he can play his cards right, he might be able to hold on. This game, he might be able to get the lead even. Because the Tatars are going to be getting 25% extra. Yeah, they're going to be getting 25% extra damage against units when fighting from higher elevation. There we go. That's good. That's good stuff. Capoch is going to end up taking one spearman down. It's going to be taking another archer over here. He's doing a really good job. He's got more units compared to Daut as well. So blue player is going to have to be careful. But Daut's doing a really good job over there with his micro. And now I see some skirmishers coming in from Daut. Or the one skirmisher coming in for both players. That's always fighting from the very high elevation. the highest elevation. Well, he's gonna be able to control the units from the highest point ever, but I don't know if he's gonna have the elevation on the actual units. In any case, Capoch can definitely do really well over here, for sure. Right hand side. Capoch is coming forward. He's gonna try to do some damage. Unlike Capoch, Daut is not going to be fully walled, so Capoch can do some damage over here, but he needs to survive with these units. The skirmisher is going to be a constant threat. I don't see any low HP units over here for Daut, so it's unlikely that he's going to end up losing anything, and that's a beautiful reaction with the quick wall coming out for Daut, and he's going to end up taking every single archer down. In the center is going in favor of Capoch now that he's made a full switch into skirmishers, although now he's going to be going back to archer production. But Daut, on the other hand, is probably going to be better off for food because I'm not going for as many skirmishers, although he's going for scouts right now. You know what though, I do prefer this, archers and scouts as opposed to archers and skirmishers. Yeah. As long as you can keep the skirmishes at bay, you're going to be alright. And Daut's doing a good job. It seems like he's going to get cleaned out by Capoch though. Not really. The scout's gonna be taking the skirmishers down. Well, not quite. Good micro over here for Capoch, dividing the army in archers and skirmishers and using the archers to defend the skirmishers. The KD is still going to be better for Capoch. Now he's got the elevation as well, so that should really not fight against this. He's up against the Tars. Fighting uphill is going to be suicidal against the civilization. Let's see. Alright, good stuff. Castle H coming up right now for Daut as well. And Capoch is going to be going after the Castle H as well, a little bit faster and going for scale bar than armor right now. It's quite clear. Capoch is... Oh, actually, Capoch is going up a little bit faster. It's quite clear that he's going to be going for knights. He could be going for crossbows, which I think he will do because of free thumb ring that he gets with the Tars. But then in addition to that, Bloodlines is going to signify a switch into knights as well. So it's going to be, you know, the holy grail of the Castle H army composition, crossbows and knights. Usually very expensive for one player to go for, but Capoch is managing just fine. He hasn't really lost too many units himself. You can even see that Daut's going up about 3 villages faster, but he's going up about 30% behind, which means that Capoch is going to be able to catch up by 2 villagers, and it's only going to be a 1 villager lead for Daut in the end. And by the way, does Capoch have wheelbarrow? I think that's going to make a big difference. He does! So the fact that he is only 1 villager behind Daut is huge, because he could be easily 3 villages behind, but at the very least. Now though, as Daut hits the Castle H, he's going to be getting the lead once again by getting free handcart. That's going right back. Capoch, he already has the crossbows. He's coming with knights forward. Nope. Just archers? How many stables does he have? Okay, there we go. He was training the knights. So he's got 1 knight coming out from a single stable though, so he's not going to be investing too heavily into it. Stuff. It's going to be taking this palisade down for sure. There we go. Yeah. It's a little bit better for Daut right now. He's got a bunch of skirmishers to work with, and he's gonna be trapping Capoch. He doesn't properly trap Capoch per se, but he does manage to take a few units out. Capoch walking away with the majority of his units intact is still very good though. Daut was researching ballistics. He stopped paying attention over here, otherwise he might have been able to clean up Capoch's army completely. There we go. Yeah. Crossman is going to go down. All the crosses are going down right now for Capoch, and Daut has been doing a really good job for the most part. Equalizing the KD as well for the most part. You can also see the knights coming in here for Capoch with bloodlines and also scale Barden armor. He does not have chain Barden armor though, so it's not going to be the best against Daut's units. Capoch is not paying attention though! He needs to do it! He needs to take advantage of the extra damage that he can do when fighting from a higher elevation. He is going to right now, but he spent a long time not taking full advantage of it. There we go. Oof indeed. He's going back, and Daut is getting a fantastic KD lead with a KD ratio of 8 to 7. Beautiful snipes over here for Capoch though. Managed to take 3 villagers down so far. So the 2 crossbows right now for Daut to play with. Capoch is going to have a few crosses over here. 13 is going to have actually a grand total of 11, I think, archers. 10 archers and 4 knights. There we go. It's gonna be taking all the knights down for sure. So that's doing alright for the time being, but I wouldn't really chant victory just yet. The villager high is better for... The villager count right now is better for Capoch. Military count is better for Daut. KD is a little bit better for Daut. Let's take a look at the resources. And Capoch's economy is much stronger. Definitely can give Daut a run for his money. There we go. Yeah, I think Daut's defenses are solid enough that he's going to survive just fine, but Capoch is gonna be getting a hit for sure if Daut doesn't do anything about this. Chinese are a very good civilization, but the Tatars, if you get the lead, it's going to be really hard to knock them out of it. Remember, in the Imperial Age, they can make the switch into cavalry archers. They do not need to research Parthian tactics. Right now, I'm going to be liking Capoch's position over here a lot more. He just needs to make sure of using the knights over here to bait some fire from the crossbows. And that's not microing at all. If he was microing, I think he might have been able to get a much better trade over here instead. He's going to end up losing the majority of his units. And to be fair though, he does manage to take a good amount of crossbows from Capoch. Yeah, and it's going to be probably more cost effective for that in the end, as he took 3 knights from Capoch and a bunch of crossbows, while he only lost a few crossbows and mostly skirmishers himself. Imperial Age on the way for Daut right now. The Viking economy is something that is not too easy to beat at all. And Capoch's got more than enough gold to go up. Does not have enough food, but he's got enough food workers that if he gets housed 2 more times, he's gonna be able to go up, no problem. I don't think there are any upgrades for him to research anymore from the TC, right? Oh, he can go for handcart actually. But yeah. Knights from Daut coming in. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's just fine. I think it's overall still going to be a better position for Daut right now because it's going after the Imperial Age. In the Castle Age, it was not looking too much like it. But Capoch still has 13 extra villagers and he should be able to go out to the Imperial Age very soon. As you can see, his resources are getting very close to being enough.
Hazır. Emriniz.
27 range units right now for Daut as well. Yeah, there we go. 15% away from the Imperial Age. Daut is going to be getting a massive lead as the military count right now is going to be significantly higher for him with 13 extra military units. Capoch on the other hand, 90% away from it. It's gonna be on the back foot for quite a while now. The Daut's got ballistics as well. These units from Capoch are not going to get too far away. And we see right away Daut going for our ballistas. Chemistry in Bracer. All of a sudden, Capoch's bonus over here doesn't do anything. So Daut is coming forward. He's going to start chasing these units away with the majority of his army. He's just going to divert 6 units towards taking those archers down for sure. Now that these are going to be crossbows with Bracer, they're going to be much longer range compared to Capoch's units. There we go. Much higher damage as well. So Capoch is going to try to get villagers down, and he gets one, but he gets cleaned up. On the left-hand side, Daut's coming in. He's got 34 military units ready to strike. He's getting a very nice score lead right now, and he was already 1-0 ahead. There we go. Really good stuff. The house coming up over here for Capoch is not going to be strong enough though, so Daut's going to be taking it down, and Capoch still going to be about 25% away from the Imperial Age himself, so Daut should be able to start doing massive amount of damage over here, and he just needs to dive in. He should be able to deny this castle, or at the very least delay it for the time being, and he's going to spot it right now. So Capoch is trying to get it out, but he's not going to be able to, so he pulls the villagers away. And Daut holds on to all these arbalisters in a spot where Capoch is not going to be able to finish making the castle. And you know what? I would like for Daut to take a few of these, probably 40% of this army, and just roam around, man. Go around, because if you're going to be staying here just to deny that castle, you're going to give Capoch a lot of time to work with. Capoch has been trying to mass some cavalry archers right now, and he managed to get a good amount of units. 21 to be precise. Meanwhile, Daut on the other hand did go around. It's going to end up losing a few arbalisters over here to the TC, which is unfortunate. I feel like he should be trying to get the arbalisters around this area. Yeah, he realized now. Hill advantage for Daut, does not have too many units to work with though. That's going to be it, guys. Capoch calls it GG, and Daut takes game number 2. It's going to be a score then of 2-0 in favor of Daut. And let's take a look then at game number 3 after taking a look at the achievements. About 4-3 KD ratio in favor of Daut. We are going to have a largest army count of 70-30 for Daut as well. And then for economy, food collection and stone collection higher for Daut, while wood and gold collection is going to be higher for Capoch. For technology, on the other hand, we are going to have a faster Imperial Age time for Daut significantly, faster Castle Age time for Capoch, but was not able to do too much with it, unfortunately. And 104 to 101 villager high for Capoch and Daut respectively. Let's go back. Acropolis, and guys, welcome everybody to the third and final game of this series, and the final game of today's stream as well. Daut versus Capoch, both playing Cumans. Don't think I have seen Cuman DeathMatch in the past. And yeah, I feel like talking about the bonuses over here is going to be kind of redundant. So probably not. The town center is in the middle of nowhere and nothing useful is near it, but enough about Daut's hometown. His bait in this game is stupid too. Capoch is going to be in a similar position too. Although both players are going to have somewhat save resources, kind of on the back I guess, for Capoch over here to the sides. We do have a back stone though. While Daut on the other hand is going to have some side gold, back gold, and then we have a side stone over here to work with. There we go. Yeah, and it's going to be a matter of who can start massing units faster than the other player and who can come forward and start sniping villagers. Capoch is not going forward at all though, while Daut on the other hand is coming forward with step lancers and camels too. And he's gonna try to get a villager down over here. The villagers were trying to go for the quick walls, but they were not able to. So one villager goes down, two villagers go down. Capoch does not seem to be comfortable playing deathmatch over here, as Daut's taking a nice lead already, taking 3 villagers down. The step lancers are beautiful raiden units because they get 1 extra range. So they do not need to get right next to the villagers at all. And you know what? A step lancer over here is gonna have enough range to take the villager down. So that could potentially even do that. Let's see if he's going to realize about it. He won't. He's going around. That might be bad. That might be bad. Yeah, that's going to be bad. He could have taken the villager, but still, he's going to be getting 10 villagers compared to only 7 for Capoch. Now that the red player has defended somewhat back home, although he uses another one over here, Daut's going to be playing defensive right now as Capoch is coming forward with all the camels he had left. It's gonna be going for castles too. Take a look at that. Daut's not paying attention. Capoch is not paying attention actually. He could have taken 2 villages from Daut over here. That is exactly the kind of stuff that you need to pay attention to in deathmatch. With all the villagers being sniped left and right, we are going to have a villager count of 9 to 8 right now. 9 to 6 actually in favor of Daut. And moving over to his base, it seems like he has done a really good job defending. He's got a good amount of step lancers over here. They're going to be taking the camels down, no problem. And, you know, if you have a good amount of step lancers and you micro them properly, they are really strong still. Because the extra range allows for double lines to attack simultaneously. Or even more if you can squeeze more than 2 lines in a single tile. Yeah, they're really, really strong. It's going to be like having 30 attack when 2 step lancers attack at the same time. Good amount of castles for Daut as well. Keeps on going for more villagers. Gets 12 versus only 8 for Capoch. Capoch is going to be taking 1 from Daut, 2 from Daut. So now it's going to be 11 to 9. But Daut's going to keep on roaming around, although it seems like he's struggling to find any villagers. He's gonna be able to get the castle up for sure, but I'm mostly interested in the TCs because the more villages you can get early on, the more buildings you're gonna be able to build right away. And the better it's going to be for you overall. Alright. Yeah, Capoch is bringing a lot of units over here. With the keep checks coming out from Daut, he's going to have some ranged units to complement his melee units that he has now switched to Paladin for. But I don't know about this, man. I don't know. Let's see. That cast is going to go down right now. Capoch is doing too much damage and Daut does not have enough military units I don't know about the effectiveness of Kipchak in a paladin war like this. It seems to me like Daut probably did not play too many human mirror games over here because his army composition does not seem to be pay enough. We gotta keep something in mind though. Capoch has run out of resources already. He does have a good amount of paladins still queued up, but he has run out of resources already, while Daut's still going to have about 1,000 extra gold. He does have paladins in the queue, he does have Kipchaks in the queue as well. He does have a lot of Kipchaks in the queue, but he just does not have enough castles to produce from. So yeah, Capoch over here in the end ended up throwing a little bit of units, fighting in between both castles against a very nice army from Daut, comprised of paladins and Kipchaks, obviously. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's going to be a little bit better for Daut over here, just barely though. Capoch actually has the population lead and the better KD ratio, but yeah, Daut's units have been by and large cheaper. That is why his economy was much stronger. Good thing for Capoch though, he was able to equalize in villager count, so right now their economy after that much resources run out is going to be kind of comparable. Because it's coming out for Capoch right now. He's got a grand total of 3 castles, with 2 more coming up, although the foundations are going down right now. Yeah, it's going to be going for another one over here. So it's going to be a total of 5 castles. And Daut, on the other hand, is going to be on a grand total of 6 castles right now. Producing a lot of villagers though, compared to Capoch. Daut's producing from 6 CCs. Oh, actually, Capoch is producing from 6 CCs, and Daut's going to be producing from 4. So, economy is going to be better for Capoch. And military has been better for Daut for the most part, for numbers, but the army composition, as much as I like having melee and ranged units, I do feel like Kipchaks are not strong enough in this situation. But let's see. We do have a big engagement over here coming up. Military count is going to be higher for Daut, so Capoch is going to bail. But if you take a look at the amount of units dead over here for Daut and for Capoch, I think we have actually lost a lot more units from the blue player rather than the red player. Let's see. More Kipchaks coming forward, more paladin coming forward right now for Daut as well. Can't really find an exposed area. Doesn't really do too much. Meanwhile, Capoch, on the other hand, is not coming forward anymore. As Daut goes to over 110 military units, he's going to be pop capped, while Capoch, on the other hand, is not going to be there quite yet. I really like Daut's economy though. Taking a look at Capoch, on the other hand, he does not have gold. He's gonna have to start taking some gold himself. Daut's coming in, he's gonna be taking villagers down. He's gonna be trying to take the paladin down. I don't think he's gonna be able to. If he gets surrounded by paladin and he gets surrounded by Kipchaks, he's not gonna be able to do anything. So that's a lot of units going down for Daut. Not a big fan of this engagement, and the blue player ends up losing everything, or he's going to end up losing everything. Meanwhile, Capoch, on the other hand, is bringing a few paladin over here that, yeah, the paladins are going to go down eventually, but they are so much tankier compared to Kipchaks. They're going to be able to take down villagers for sure, no problem. It's really interesting to see DeathMatch once resources start running out. It's going to be almost like watching a regular game. Almost, except that players are going to have all the upgrades that their civilizations can go for, which is not something you get to see actually in a normal game like ever. Yeah, there we go. We have siege challenges. Who goes for siege challenges with humans every game and paladins and elite Kipchaks and everything? Nobody. It's too expensive, but they get it now, and it seems to be working. Daut is going to be pushing Capoch away from this area. Capoch is going to reduce Daut in this area though, and that's gonna be going lower and lower in population compared to Capoch, who's gonna be getting closer and closer to 200. And he's pop capped already. But that's going heavily into Trebuchet, so he can take all the Kipchaks. He can take all the castles down, and of course that is going to signify losing Kipchak production potential for Capoch. Good stuff. Good amount of units for Daut over here. Fairly decent. Yeah, Capoch's got a good amount of units as well. Onagers are coming in though, but Capoch is coming in with some Hazara, with some Paladin from the back, and that's a huge shot! Still though, the Kipchaks are tanking like it's nothing, not quite! Those are some fantastic shots, and all of a sudden, a huge portion of Capoch's army is gone, while Daut on the other hand might have lost a few Onagers over there, but he was able to survive, and that's what matters! Population still very close for both players right now, so Daut was able to come back a little bit with those shots. Damn. Well, Capoch though, raiding over here, Daut hasn't realized about it, so he's going to end up losing all the villagers. And he will, probably. Not quite, not quite. The castle's doing a really good job defending. It's going down right now for Capoch as well. Yeah, I think the castle's going to stay up. Trebuchets are not well protected, so Daut ended up wasting a lot. First, he goes for a lot of Onagers and he loses all of them. Then he goes for a bunch of Trebuchets and he loses all of them. Daut has been spending way too many resources and Capoch has been taking those no problem. If we take a look at... Give me a moment. If we take a look at the total amount of resources left for Daut, you're going to see that he is going to be very low in gold count compared to Capoch on the other hand. Yeah, Capoch is going to be much better off in terms of gold collection. Daut coming in though and getting the raid going. He managed to get a bunch of villagers over here before Capoch reacted. He tried to get some villagers over here, was not able to. But he's gonna be getting some villagers over here for sure, and then Capoch, just like that, is going to go down to 117 villagers. Producing from a whole lot of TCs, by the way. Red player, after all, at this point in time, has got 9 TCs to produce villagers from. So he can go for a crap ton of units. And he's been going for a bunch of villagers for the most part. Capoch's raid over here seems to be working just fine, and Daut on the other hand, from his measly 7 TCs, is not going to be doing as much. There we go. Good defense for Capoch for the most part. KD is going to be a little bit better for the red player at this point. Yeah, but Daut is not. Guys, you know, if you have been keeping track of Terra Nova, you know how good that is at holding on and coming back in the late game. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be over, even though Capoch does seem to be on the lead. However, we have seen Capoch holding on in the past really well too. Oh, the micro over there is not the best for Daut, and he's going to end up losing a lot of Kipchaks. It's gonna be left on 12 over here, and that's not going to be enough. And now, the Onagers from Capoch are gonna be taking these trebuchets down as well. But also, Capoch is gonna be taking a lot of damage himself, as we see more Onagers, from Daut coming out and taking the units down from Capoch. That's going to be a fantastic trade still for the red player, and he's going to be in a good position right now to try and take this castle down. Meanwhile, Daut is gonna keep on trying to raid the villagers, and he's got a bunch of paladins over here taking villagers down. The villager count's going to be actually higher for Daut right now compared to Capoch. That is something we were not expecting to see some time ago. Villager high, 101 for Daut compared to 96 for Capoch. And military count's going to be 48 for Capoch versus 29 for Daut. Yeah, well played. Capoch is holding on to his score lead, and remember as well, as if we run out of time over here, and at most we're going to be able to keep on going for 33 and a half more minutes of in-game time. It's gonna be really good for, yeah, it's gonna be really good for Capoch, of course, assuming that he can hold on to the lead. Alright. I don't know what Daut can do right now to come back over here. His population is falling dramatically. His economy is not looking bad at all. He's killing a lot of villagers, but he's not killing too many military units, and it does not seem like he's going to have enough resources to keep on queuing too much. Well, if we take a look at Capoch's economy, he's got 40 food workers, right? He's got 25 woodworkers too, so he can potentially just go for paladins forever. He's got 40 gold miners. That's not going to have that luxury. That can flow like a butterfly and sting like a bee. But yeah, once again, we have seen Daut in similar positions to this come back in a fantastic manner, but Capoch is going to be a really strong player, and is not going to be the same defending against somebody else as it is defending against Capoch. And we can see that 3 trebuchets coming forward from the red player are going to be barreling through Daut's defenses. Especially this castle is going to be very low HP. These other castles are going to be full HP still, but Daut, I don't think is going to be banking on keep checks anymore. I think Paladin is going to be the better choice for him. Does not have a whole lot of gold miners though. He needs more for sure. It'd be good for him to go for a castle or something over here, because these villages are going to be very exposed. Capoch is coming in, 187 population compared to 138 population for Daut. 200 population for Capoch right now, 143 for Daut. As it's going to be a 57 population delta, a big chunk of it is going to belong to military, where Capoch is going to have a significantly larger army compared to Daut, but he's also going to have a lot more villagers compared to Daut. There we go. Gas is going down. We were expecting that to be the case. And Capoch is gonna be coming forward to take more castles down, I imagine. Takes control of this goal as well. Daut struggles, 150 population. Capoch is still going to be basically pop cap. It's going to be locked at 200 population himself. Nice, nice. There we go. All of these paladins from Capoch are probably going to go down, but he's bringing more. And that is a problem. He's going to be so much stronger that he's going to be able to spam these units forever. And you can see Capoch is going for it. What is that? He's got about 10 stables? And he's queuing like 2 paladins from each at the very least. That is just insane. Because he's got so many gold miners and he's got so much map control, he's going to be able to keep on just queuing more and more paladin like it's nothing. And it seems to me like he's going to just stay pop capped for the foreseeable future. One thing is for Daut to hold on against Project Belgium in the Imperial Age when Belgium is pushing with skirmishers. Something else entirely is having Daut on no resources, no population, holding on against full paladin army from Capoch. And I don't know how long it's going to be able to hold on, but still, it's not only about holding on. Daut needs to turn the tables and come back into the series, or come back into the game, sorry, because Capoch has got the score lead right now, right? And we are going to have only about 300 more years to go, or 26 more minutes to go. I think that's gonna try to keep on holding. There we go. Nice. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, the paladins are going to go down for Capoch, but he still brings more and more forward all the time. He's got more paladins queued up as well. Now we are going to see also a switch into siege rounds for the red player. No! They're getting crashed! Oh, Age of Empires, come on, man. What's this? Man, that's a lot of units going down as well. And I think it's because of us fast forwarding over here that they look like that. If I'm not mistaken. Alright, so now my GPU is giving in. But it's fine. We just need to fast forward as fast as possible. Is my GPU going to give in if I enable the fog of war and if I go to a dark area? Everything's going to be scouted. Let's see. 40, 50, 15, 10, 20, 30. Let's disable the fog of war. Alright, 10, 20. Yeah, it goes forward as fast as it can, I think. It's going to open the system resources to see what is the thing that is limiting me the most. It seems like it's the CPU. Anyway, just need to keep on waiting. Alright. Well, this is kind of awkward, not gonna lie. Let's enable the score once again. Yeah, and population's 200 right now for both. We know how that's going to go. We have about 11 more minutes to go, so 50% more than what we have gone through already. And then I think we are going to be caught up for the most part, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, this is the area of the big shots as well. Oh, and we had Daut in the blue color, right? And we had Capoch in red, so we are going to switch to the team colors once again. Alright. So Capoch pulling ahead in population right now. Getting closer and closer to where we were left off. Yeah, no problem. No problem, amigo. I think we were about 270 years left, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that is pretty much the case. So we are about 1 minute away from the last time that I referred to time as minutes. And I think we were about... Yeah, we were about 270 minutes away, right? If it crashes again, it's probably because either somebody called a GG or somebody dropped. So let's go back to normal speed once again. We are 35 minutes into the game, 278 years to go through, and yeah, I recall this. I was saying that the paladins were going to get cleaned up, but the Capoch kept on going for more indefinitely, and that was struggling to defend against this. Nice. It's still better than my channel. The title of my latest stream was Getting OBS to Work. Flower and Dancer Extended Remix. How did that go? Did he manage to get OBS working? There we go. Daut's holding on for the time being, but I don't know for how long he's gonna be able to do it. He's going for Halberdier right now. He's on 127 population. He used to be on 150 a little while ago. That is not the case anymore. Yeah, good stuff for the most part.
What?
I think it's really good. Nice. Village is going down right now for Daut as well. And Capoch still has a good amount of paladin coming forward with some Hussar on top of it. As if it was not enough with Paladin only. We are 23 minutes away from the potential end of the game for time limit, but I don't think we are going to get there because Daut does not seem like he is going to be able to hold on over here anymore. His population is dropping dramatically and we are going to see him go under 100 population very soon, as the villager count is already below the 100 mark and the military count is dropping too. Very good siege weapons over here for Daut to work with as well, which is really nice. There we go. He manages to take the siege rams down, but he's still going to lose the castle no matter what, so Daut's holding on, but he has lost probably 60% of his defenses in the last push, and Capoch is much higher in villagers, he's much higher in economy as well, so he just needs to wait 5 minutes, mass another big push like that, mass another big army like that, go for a big push, and then that's not going to be able to keep on holding anymore. So that's going to be about it. There we go. Czar going down right now for Capoch too. Fantastic. Just played the silliest game in a long time. We had 2 Portuguese lingas in arena. Oh man, I can just imagine that. Feitoria? Yeah, OP. It sounds very, very interesting. Hope you had fun. Half of the year from Daut are going to suffice for the time being, but it's going to be a matter of time until Capoch gets even more half of the year himself, or something else, something entirely different. What else is Daut going to go for? I don't know, man. Daut's trying to do some damage over here. He was coming forward, but I think he's just going to end up. It's going to end up exposing the only units he had. It's going down to less than 100 population, as we were predicting just a little while ago, and military is going to be 35. Villager count is going to be 61. It's looking too dire right now for Daut. 19 more minutes before the game is over. 18 more minutes before the game is over. And Daut is... I don't even know what to say about this. Daut is such a survivor, that's all I can say. You know what's really interesting as well? Capoch has had 2,000 extra points for a long time already, so it's kind of awkward that it's not going up any higher than that. All things considered. Now Daut's fall low in population and becomes more exclusive to be a Daut villager. See, that is true. You see things, man. Yeah, the siege ram, I don't think Daut's going to have anything against that at all. Hello, Kenny Twist. Hi, hi. How is it going? T West, rather. Is it T West? I imagine it's Kenny T West as opposed to Twist, right? It seems to me like Twist is kind of awkward. There we go. Capoch has a fantastic lead right now. 44 minutes into the game. Daut is going above 100 population once again, and just like the Phoenix, is going to rise up. But for how long? It seems like he's just going to get knocked down once again. I use US when names don't allow underscores. I see, I see. Yeah, it's probably better for me not to call you Twist. Or hyphens, yeah. The castle's going down. In the previous push like this that Capoch had versus Daut, Daut ended up losing about 60% of his defenses. This time around, he's going to end up losing the remaining 40, apparently. How many castles do we have left for Daut over here? So in the north, he's going to have these 2, but then he's got 5 elsewhere. 5 more castles elsewhere, so we have 3 over here. He's going to have 2 more over here as well, so that makes sense. Checks out. More TCs coming out for him, and he just won't give up. Daut will just not give up. 112 population, 110 versus 200. Capoch has done a really good job over here. Now these two castles are going to represent a big chunk of Daut's defenses on the right hand side, but fortunately for him, he has moved away to the left hand side, so he's not gonna be losing too much. He's gotta be careful though, because Capoch is preparing a push on the left as well, and we see a stable coming up and a siege workshop. If Capoch pays attention over here, he's gonna be going for extra stables, and then he's gonna start raiding Daut, and Daut does not have a whole lot of defenses over here at this point in time. That's going to be GG though. Daut calls it, and Capoch gets the 1 point in the series in game number 3. So let's update this, and Daut's still gonna be taking the series with the final score of 2-1, but yeah, that's the way it works over here. It's going to be all 3 games. So guys, it's the end of the second series of the day. That's going to be the only one, the final one rather, as well. So Kanye is